Hello everyone, welcome to Sports Tonight. I'm Ryan Phelan. You know, they often say that sport is a mixture of pleasure and pain. Well, today we've got plenty of both.
And Johns is hurt. Johns is clutching at the area.
A bad night for Newcastle. Battered, beaten and broken as the Dragons roar on. We'll have all the latest news on Andrew Johns in a moment. But if Johns is down, the Eels are out. But we start today with the National Rugby League, and the world's best player is in hospital. His season over. His team's title defence in tatters. Leanne West joins us, and Leanne, we'll be hearing plenty more about that tackle that floored Newcastle and Australian captain Andrew Johns.
We certainly will, Ryan. It's perhaps the most influential incident of the season so far, a tackle that could well change the course of the final series. Such is Andrew Johns' standing in the game. Now already people are saying Newcastle are no chance of defending their title without Johns in the side. With the latest on his injury, here's Rob Canning at Newcastle's John Hunter Hospital.
Leanne, Andrew Johns is in an enormous amount of pain at the moment. He's been on morphine all day here at the hospital. 6 weeks he's expected to be out of football. In the end, it was 3 broken bones in his back, and it shatters the defending premiers.
And Johns is hurt.
The game's best broken. 7 minutes into last night's preliminary final against St George Illawarra, and Andrew Johns colliding with Luke Bailey. Johns rushed to hospital. The diagnosis: 3 small backbones broken, and his season over.
This could be a very telling moment in their season. I think
it's
he's coming
basically an issue of pain management at the moment for him, and I don't know if there's any surgery required. I guess we'll know more as the next day or two unfolds, but extremely sad and disappointing end for him and for the team.
Hagan furious with the incident, which was placed on report and wants action.
I mean, from the injuries that have been sustained and the amount of force that has to be applied to do that, whether they are accidental or not, that was the outcome of the said tackle. So the league need to look at that and protect our players.
I don't think I'm worried at all. I looked at it 4 times. I couldn't see anything in it.
NRL Commissioner Jim Hall to decide tomorrow if Bailey has to front the judiciary.
But judiciary, hopefully they see the right thing, but then again I was charged for the biting incident, which I didn't do, so who knows. It's unfortunate Joey got injured. He knows I wouldn't have been it. He's played with me. He knows I'm a dirty player.
The Knights recovered from the match this morning, well aware though that they've been left horribly vulnerable.
You know, he has such an impact on any side he plays in, and when you take him out of the side, I guess the boys panic a little bit, but you know, we've just got to learn to settle down, and everyone's just got to do their own individual job. And
they came close last night, going down by 4 points against a rejuvenated Dragons outfit, a side once again saving their season.
Awesome, you know, the way we sung the song and stuff like that. It's a really team feel, and I think it showed out there in our defence.
Yeah, the Dragons are still in it. Now, just repeating from here at the hospital, Newcastle Knights captain Andrew Johns is out of the NRL finals. He's also not expected to play in the Australia versus New Zealand Test match in October.
Spectators today, Dragons players watched their club's lower grades go around in Wollongong. As reported earlier, last night Andrew Johns suffered broken bones in his back. Luke Bailey placed on report for the incident. The Newcastle captain's misfortune triggering a change in luck for the Dragons. Mark Riddell's ricochet off Sean Rudder landing perfectly for Justin Smith before Trent Barrett bounded away.
Barrett running the football. Barrett's inside the 30. He pushes away. He gets a springboard.
Tamana Tahu tore through defence to put the Knights within 2 points, but it was the Dragons who raised the bar. Riddell doing it all himself for his team's final touchdown. The hooker's only downer on report for this tackle.
Time for sport now. Here's Nick McArdle.
Hello, Chris. Tonight, the latest on Andrew Johns' season-ending injury. Andrew Johns' season is over after breaking 3 bones in his back in the Knights' loss to the Dragons. This afternoon, the Warriors ended the Raiders' year with a 16-point win. Last night, Brisbane eliminated the Eels from the finals race, while Johns left the ground early in Newcastle's loss, but is expected to make a full recovery.
Sore and sorry, the Knights skipper was moved to a private hospital in Newcastle as his coach delivered the shattering news to the team.
He's got 3 bones broken that attached to his spine. That's effectively the end of his football season.
Johns copped a knee in the back just minutes into the game against the Dragons.
There it is there from Luke Bailey, but not done on purpose.
I tried to cover up and I went in with my knees accidentally, and I hope he's all right. He's a champion bloke and wasn't intentional, and I think he knows that as well.
After having their star taken to hospital by ambulance, the Knights weren't so forgiving.
They are always difficult things to prove conclusively because they can always appear to be accidental.
With Johns gone, things turned dramatically as Trent Barrett and the Dragons raced in 3 straight tries to take control.
He gets a springboard. He goes over.
But the Knights wouldn't lie down. They got within 2 points, but all the doubtful calls seemed to go the way of St George Illawarra, and they held on to win and go through to week 2.
No one expected us to be here, so the pressure's on the other team, not us.
Hooker Mark Riddell is on report for this tackle, but it's the Knights minus Johns who are in most trouble.
Mate, it's just hard. He's our playmaker, our kicker, he does everything. So obviously we're going to struggle.
Well, as you may have seen earlier in our news, St George Illawarra forward Luke Bailey has no case to answer over the tackle that ended Andrew Johns' season. The Dragons are breathing much easier tonight. Another key forward, Mark Riddell, also cleared to play against the Sharks. Tony Peters joins us, and Luke Bailey was under enormous pressure following that incident involving Johns.
Yes, Tim, that incident has had a major impact on the premiership picture, so to speak. The Newcastle Knights premiership odds have blown out from $4.50 to $15 to win the competition following the news that Andrew Johns wouldn't play football again until next season. Now, the incident has created plenty of debate with a lot of emotion as a result. Now, Bailey, though, was at a recovery session today when he heard the news that he had no case to answer. Now, that particular case has been well documented, but you have to wonder, Tim, if it wasn't Andrew Johns involved, would there have been so much comment?
That's he's the best player in the world, and I suppose the attention is due for the player he is. But I spoke to him, and he's sore and he's sorry, but there's no hard feelings between us, and it's just good to get on with the week.
We expressed our concerns about the events of the weekend, and it's up to the league then to determine what they do with it. So we'll leave it at that.
Yes, and Mark Riddell must be relieved too.
Gee, very much so, Tim. His form at the judiciary this year is pretty ordinary. 2 cases, 1 for 4, 1 for 7, so he's missed virtually half the season as a result of indiscretions. Previously, a third would have been disastrous, but his one-on-one tackle of Billy Peden appeared more of a good old-fashioned dump rather than a spear tackle.
It's just, it's a weight off my mind, and I wasn't too worried about it, and the judiciary's made the right decision, I think.
Sure. The Dragons will be breathing even more fire at Aussie Stadium this weekend, with Luke Bailey and Mark Riddell both cleared to play against the Sharks in the knockout final. Bailey was feeling most of the heat after severely injuring Newcastle's Andrew Johns on Saturday night.
Bailey and Riddell didn't look on edge as they joined teammates in a pool session. It was all part of the early build-up for the showdown with the Sharks. And Bailey wasn't even out of the water when his good news came through.
Oh, it's great. It's great news. You get on with the week now. It's a bit of interruption early in the week, but to get over and done with early is good. Pretty happy.
After studying various angles of the tackle on Andrew Johns, the judiciary decided there was no malice or carelessness with the hit. Bailey's knees left 3 fractures in Johns' back and his season ruined.
As I said on Saturday night, they showed signs of still a good team without him, Just need a bit more direction, I suppose, which they'll probably get at training, and I still see him as a force to beat.
The questions over Riddell's tackle on Peden were also quickly dismissed, allowing the Dragons to be at full strength for an opponent that has lost some momentum.
We seem to be just playing do-or-die footy and it's coming off for us.
There was also some good news for the Knights, with Matt Gidley cleared of a dangerous tackle.
Good evening. The Dragons are breathing easier tonight with Luke Bailey and Mark Riddell cleared of any wrongdoing from the win over Newcastle. Bailey was the biggest concern after the accident that sidelined Andrew Johns. Luke Bailey was in the pool when we broke the news to him. Bailey found to have no case to answer despite being reported for kneeing Andrew Johns.
Just a big relief. That's about it. I knew I wasn't guilty. I knew there was nothing in it. Expecting to hear it at training, but to hear it early from you guys was even better.
Johns remains in hospital, but Bailey has spoken to him by phone.
He said he knew it wasn't intentional, and he just actually wished me best for the season.
Happy times too for Dragons hooker Mark Riddell.
What have I got? Nothing.
Reported for a tackle on Bill Peden, he's also been cleared to play the Sharks.
Bales' was purely accidental, and mine was just, I just thought it was a hard tackle, and they've seen it that way, and both of us are on deck for Saturday night.
It's a big boost for us. We certainly need them two on the park if we're to beat Cronulla.
Now the dark horse for the premiership, the Dragons believe they've done enough to save the job of coach Andrew Farrar.
Yeah, I would like to think we have. We've turned things around and it's taken a lot of pressure off him.
And Andrew Johns back on his feet after that spine-crushing clash. Rugby League's best player Andrew Johns says he's lucky to be walking and won't risk playing in the grand final even if the Newcastle Knights make it. Johns hobbled out of hospital to inspire his teammates as they prepare for this weekend's sudden death match against the Roosters. And he spoke of his fears that his back injury could have been much worse.
Anything to do with your back, if you sort of sit back and think, I've broken a bone in my back, it's pretty serious. And I've had time to reflect on it. It's really shaking me up a bit.
Indeed, and we'll hear more from Andrew Johns later in sport.
And sport is next for Tim Webster. And how will the Knights replace Johns?
Yeah, well, that's pretty much impossible, Jess, isn't it? They're mighty big boots to fill. But we'll hear from Johns and his replacement shortly, plus the rest of the finals news. Newcastle and Australian captain Andrew Johns says he won't risk an early comeback from the back fractures that have ended his season. Now, that's despite medical opinion that Johns could play in the grand final with the aid of painkillers.
Forget the anguish of missing finals football. Andrew Johns elated just to be walking.
A lot better than laying on my back for the last 3 days. It's good to get out of hospital, but still very sore. But every day I'm improving, so it's a good sign.
With his hospital ID tag still on his wrist, Johns' crash tackling suggestions he could be back if the Knights make the grand final.
I was grateful, as I said, that I'm able to walk out of hospital, and if we get to the grand final, if I'm 100% I'll play, but if not, there's no way I'll risk it.
While still in obvious pain, Johns maintains he holds no malice towards the man who ended his season. Dragons prop Luke Bailey.
It's a collision sport, and you just got to take those knocks. I've been no angel in the past. I've done things to other players that have got me suspended, so I'm not going to sit here and pass judgment.
While the Knights lose plenty of spark without Johns, his confident replacement halfback John Morris has what it takes to guide Newcastle to a win over the Roosters. And the Parramatta-bound utility promising to fill Johns' boots.
They've still got 5 internationals in the side, and they'll be making my job a lot easier, so I'm looking forward to the challenge. I think it'll be a good one.
Daniel Lane, 10 News.
And Sydney Roosters forward Adrian Morley is out of Sunday's NRL semi-final against Newcastle. The big English prop has pleaded guilty to a tripping charge. Tony Peters joins us, and he's been in terrific form, Tony. Huge loss for the Roosters.
Certainly is, Tim. He's very much the power man of the Roosters pack. He's been replaced by Michael Crocker, who'll come onto the bench. I think probably Andrew Lehman might start the game. But of course, the significant point that comes out of it is that there have always been questions asked about the Roosters front row. Morley tripped Sharks rival Chris Beattie last week, and the video evidence which the club obtained suggested that he should in fact plead guilty.
We had a look at it, mate, and I just think we'll be bashing our head up against a brick wall if we go in there and try and fight the charge. It's disappointing. I mean, he was punched in the face and he retaliated, and it's disappointing, but he's got to run with it.
Yeah, the Roosters will start favourites now against the Knights, minus Andrew Johns.
Still got a few concerns though, Tim. A few players didn't train today. Luke Ricketson, Simon Bonetti, Chris Flannery, Brett Mullins. They all didn't train today. They're all going to require physiotherapy treatment this week. And then in addition to that, Nathan Kalis also had an ankle problem, but he did in fact resume training, and he's also going to be expected to play. Another point you've got to bring into the equation, Shannon Hegarty was an absentee. He's got food poisoning. Now, there was some suggestion he may in fact come back after recovering from a broken jaw. He's not going to be playing in this particular match. So with Johns out though, there won't be any complacency with the Roosters.
Anybody that thinks that Newcastle out of this competition are kidding themselves, and it's a... We've looked at it and we realise what sort of quality players they have and what sort of team they are. So, we're not falling into no comfort zone, or we're not feeling confident at all.
They've written us off already, I guess, but look, we're just going to all pitch in, and our season's on the line. So I think we can play our best footy now. Everyone digging in. Obviously, without Joey, it's going to be hard. But if everyone does their job, the effort's going to be there, and it was the other night.
Yes, and Andrew Johns' injury throws the Australian captaincy for the Kiwi Test wide open.
Looks a battle in 310. The Newcastle pair, Queensland pair, Gordon Tallis and Darren Lockyer, as opposed to the Dragons' Trent Barrett. Now, the captaincy issue will be decided on October 7 when the team is in fact finalised. Now, Andrew Johns, who led Australia against Great Britain in June, has a preference.
I'd say Gordon should. I think he's done a good job. I think he's copped a bit of grief through the year for a few things he's done, which any other player would have done. So, I think Gouldy should do it. He's a good leader.
OK, any changes to the semi-final teams?
The Roosters, as we said, have replaced Adrian Morley with Michael Crocker. The Newcastle Knights, John Morris moves to halfback to replace the injured Andrew Johns, and Julian Bailey takes Morris' spot on the wing.
Good evening. Also tonight, Andrew Johns out of hospital and hoping to inspire his teammates. Rugby League star Andrew Johns is out of hospital tonight, claiming he'd rather count his blessings than worry about football. He's obviously still not comfortable after suffering that back injury on Saturday night, but Johns says he's happy just to be walking again.
With every small step, the pain was intense for Johns. Released from hospital just this morning, the Newcastle leader headed straight to training to offer whatever he could.
I've just sort of got off the morphine this morning, so just on the tablets now to stop the pain, but still very uncomfortable.
At this stage, John says he really isn't thinking about playing again this year. 3 fractures in his lower back, courtesy of what was ruled an accidental kneeing by the Dragons' Luke Bailey, has had plenty of impact.
If you just sort of sit back and think, I've broke a bone in my back, it's pretty serious, and I've had time to reflect on it. It's really shaking me up a bit.
Now the Premiership roughies, the Knights would love to win it for their injured general.
I'll just be there and I suppose be a back slapper and hand out some water at half time, but...
And that's a lot better than doing it full-time. Clinton Fletcher, National 9 News.
The rest of the finals news later in sport. Ken Sutcliffe with Sport is next, and 2 players to fill the big boots of Andrew Johns.
Yes, the Giant forward Matt Parsons and half John Morris, while the Roosters muscle up for a night out. Matt Parsons has been chosen to lead Newcastle into Sunday's sudden death final against the Roosters. The experienced prop replaces the injured Andrew Johns, and he's promising to play the game of his life.
As if the skies weren't dark enough around Newcastle. Today on their home ground, the Knights did their best to welcome their old skipper and their new.
Circumstances aren't ideal to be doing it, obviously, but someone had to do it, so I think Haig's opted for me, and it's a great honour to be the captain this way, that's for sure.
Big Matt Parsons intends to lead by example, but replacing the Johns factor is going to take some effort.
A few other players need to take some responsibility too, like Danny Buderus and Kirk Gidley and Sean Rudder, so between them I think we can get the job done.
John's replacement for the knockout game against the Roosters is certainly a travelling man. Johnny Morris has covered nearly every position for the Knights this year and can't wait to start at halfback.
Still got 5 internationals in the side and they'll be making my job a lot easier, so I'm looking forward to the challenge. I think it'll be a good one.
In a grand final tight build-up, the Roosters will complete their preparations in private. Today was their final open session, and they have as much to lose as Newcastle.
If we lose, and get knocked out this weekend, no one's going to care about how we've been going. So it's a good challenge if we can keep it all the way to the end, but, we haven't won anything yet.
The Roosters have also suffered a setback. Adrian Morley will miss the game after pleading guilty to tripping. Clinton Fletcher, National 9 News.
Mark Beretta joins us after the break with Andrew Johns out of hospital.
Good evening. The Roosters have suffered a blow with prop Adrian Morley out for a week after pleading guilty to tripping. Up at Newcastle, they're still getting over the loss of Andrew Johns. The injured captain left hospital today, but ruled out playing again this season.
Andrew Johns put on a brave face, but it was clearly a struggle, and the star halfback admits the knees in the back from Luke Bailey have done more than physical damage.
You just sort of sit back and think, I've broke a bone in my back, it's pretty serious, and I've had time to reflect on it. It's really shaking me up a bit.
But he's not blaming anyone.
I've got no bitterness towards Luke Bailey or the St George club at all, so I've just got to get on with it.
The Knights concede they'll struggle without him, but Johns doubts he'll play again this year for club or country.
I don't want to be going playing a test match underdone. It's not fair on the country, not fair to the jumper, so you have to see how it is, but at this stage it looks like it's all over for the season.
He's backing Brett Kimmorley to replace him as test halfback and Gordon Tallis as Australian captain. The injured Newcastle captain has challenged his teammates to use this match against the Roosters to prove they are not a one-man team.
It drives me mad, it drives all the other players mad.
Parramatta-bound utility John Morris takes over at halfback.
I suppose there's no bigger shoes to fill, but I'll look forward to the challenge.
Morris will dedicate the match to his father, John Sr., who died 11 days ago after a long battle with motor neurone disease.
You know, he was not only number one fan, but, you know, the bloke I'd always look to for advice, and he was a really good coach for me. So I suppose every game I play now, he's in the back of my mind, and I want to play as good as I can because he's taught me so much, and he's been such a special person for my career.
Patrick Mollahan, 7 News.
Both of you look very well matched. The posh and the Becks of the footy world.
Yes.
Is that a big call?
Well, it's a big call. I don't think they meet my standards, to be honest. What do you think, Trish?
Well, I'm sure you'll agree, Ryan. Everyone is looking absolutely smashing tonight.
They sure are, Nat. It's going to be a great night. Let's get in there before they start without us.
They're over. Holding his balance. Gets the pass away. Oh, Hodges is over. Oh, what a shooting. Mullins. What a lovely ball. They'll score. Hodgson lassoed by Gallop off that outside edge. And there it is again. It's on again. Hooper riding out. Webke will get there. Gets it away for Petria. Corral is in. Oh, look at this spectacular defence. Chris Morgan scored. Buderus is in again. And he'll score, Torby. You're not going to stop me.
Good evening and welcome to the 2002 Footy Show Awards. Now, please welcome your hosts, Peter Sterling, Paul Harragon and Paul Vautin.
G'day everyone. How are you? Good? What's doing? Well, it's going to be a great night. And you should all be nice and relaxed. Are we relaxed? Good, because you've been on the drink for about 3 hours. You should be nice and relaxed. Well, it's a big night tonight, the night where the Footy Show rewards all the players for their achievements this year, and it's great to see everyone here, in particular all the representatives from every club. All the clubs are represented here tonight. Well done. In particular, I want to thank one person for making the effort tonight. That is Andrew Johns, got out of his sick bed to come down. Well done, Joey. Join the champ. It's a great effort by Andrew to do that and come down for us.
Hey, buddy, out the way. I've got an invitation. They're waiting for me up top. Come on.
I'm sorry, sir. Can't allow you in the rest of the way you are and with alcohol.
Mate, I'm looking as hot as John Travolta on a Saturday Night Fever, and the grog's going up top. He's only drinking that other bullshit now out of the way.
Sorry, sir.
Going to leave, eh? Well, let me tell you something, honey. You're going to be eating out of a straw for a month.
Now, earlier you saw Reagan in a little bit of strife. We've received some information. He is at a nearby bar, and we're just going to cross to see if he's faring any better.
Listen, love, all I'm saying is I could do things on the football field that even made better sort than you whine.
Don't talk to me like that.
All right, settle down a little bit. All I'm saying is, when I played, I'd chip kick over Raper, I'd swerve around Messenger, I'd tell you what, I'd smash that Sterling or Stavros, whatever his name is, long time before that little superstar Johnny come lately, Andrew Johns, even thought about getting out of nappies. And now, they won't even let me into my awards night, where people were finally going to understand how great Reagan truly was.
I think you've had too much to drink.
Hey, I might have had a little bit too much to drink, but I'll ask you a question. Has anyone ever told you how great your jugs are?
It's time now for another special award. This one is the Moustache of the Year. Who better to present that than a man whose fancy has been tickled by plenty of moustaches in its day. Please make him welcome Trent the Flight Steward.
Fly with me, let's fly away. If you could use some exotic booze, there's a bar in no Bombay. Come fly with me, let's fly away. Let's fly away. Oh, come fly with me, let's fly away. Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome.
Okay.
Welcome, Trent. Now, have you ever performed in a room like this before, Trent?
I remember back in San Francisco, me and Jason one night. Hey, Jason, how are you? We performed one night. It wasn't so much duet or a song, but did include a bit of whipped cream and banana. But hell of a night, Jason. One. We back together again, huh? I didn't think so, you did, little bitch.
You're killing him. Have you enjoyed the night so far? Have you been looked after tonight?
I've been looked after.
Yeah.
I've been looked after. I've met a few of the guys out the back. Great guys, you know, and you rugby league guys. One of the guys had a sore lower back, so I get a bit of a light massage, a small injection. He seemed to be okay.
Small injection, that'll be right. All right. You're here to present this magnificent award, Moustache of the Year. Let's have a look at the contenders.
Moustache of the Year.
Hey guys, it's Tony Grimaldi from The Dog. Shannon Haggerty with not much on top, but plenty on his chin, the way I like it. El Capitan of the Sharks, David Peachy, looking ready for pawn. Next, it's Big Mark Tukey with a very, very impressive growth. Elvis Wagner from the Bulldogs. Not San Francisco enough, fella. Now that is gold. Shane Walker from the Broncos. And Big Steve Reardon, straight from the Wild West. Yeehaw, Wild Bill Hickok.
That's some great moves there. You've got the envelope, Trent. Please make the announcement, Moustache of the Year.
Okay, Moustache of the Year was that guy from the Wild West. Wild Bill Hickok. Steve Reardon.
Come in. That'll sit there very proudly on your mantelpiece for sure.
Mate, proud moment, highlight of my career probably.
Tell us about the Mo. You're a late bloomer, really. It wasn't until the last couple of games that you grew one, and you got half a dozen of the Bulldogs to grow them as well.
Yeah, we thought we're not going to win anything else, you know. So we'll try and win Moustache of the Year. And
yeah, the boys come out very well.
In Ed's grand final, eh?
Yeah. Trent, you liked it?
Yeah, I like him. He's okay.
All right, there he is, Moustache of the Year, Steve Reardon. Well done, Steve.
I got nothing to say.
Look at this flash car. It's in the top of town, aren't we? It must be one of those player managers or something. Hang on a minute. Joey J. That's Andrew Johns' car. He could be getting Player of the Year. I should be Player of the Year. I'll tell you what, I'll fix him. Oh, hang on a minute. Ref one. That's Bill Harragon's car. I hate referees.
He's a problem child. Security, do keep an eye on him, please.
On to one of the big awards, Halfback of the Year. It was so tough for us to narrow it down to 3 where we just couldn't. We've made it out of 5, and here's the 5 contenders for Halfback of the Year.
Halfback of the Year. Stacey Jones, Warriors. Andrew Johns, Knights. Brett Camorley, Sharks. Brent Sherwin, Bulldogs. Alan Langer, Broncos.
Yeah. And aren't they just great? And how appropriate is it to have one of the great halfbacks catching the ball, Peter Sterling? All the best, mate. A little bit of pressure.
Where is
That's
it?
good.
Can't see it. Don't know what's happening. Score. Oh, you're right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Halfback of the Year goes to Andrew Johns. Come in, Joe. Well, mate, first of all, how are you?
Yeah, I swear I've only broke my back. It's not that bad.
So there's been a little bit of speculation about, you know, you might be able to make it back for the grand final if you wanted to. It doesn't look like. You look very ginger to me. What's the chances?
Yeah, no, I'm gone. It's moved for the season. I'm going to miss the rest of the nights and probably the test at the end of the year. So I'm going to put the feet up for the next couple of months and enjoy myself.
It's been a real big year. You look back at the start of the year, the World Club Challenge right through to now. It's been a heavy workload for you.
Yeah, it's been a long year, and I think we've played 26 rounds plus the trials, World Club Challenge, and you play the Origin and Test footy. You know, it's a long year, and you work so hard to get to this moment. For all to be taken away, it's very tough. But you know, I can't complain. I've had a great year, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be there. You know, when it all counts for Newcastle.
Big game next week for the Knights. Into the young guys you're tipping to stand up and really take control in the final series.
Yeah, it's going to be a funny game because I think no one really gives us a chance of winning. But you know, the way the club is set up there, our spirit and our courage in the club's sky high. All the guys get on great, and you know, I'm confident they'll put it not only a great performance, but I think there's a big chance you'll see some. Not only the senior blokes, I think Ben Kennedy's been very proactive this week. You can see him just leading the guys around, but Matt Parsons has been named captain. He's very proud of it too. But I think everyone's going to stand up, and you know, the Knights will be there firing for sure.
Well, Joey, congratulations on a wonderful year. Please, thank you. Thanks very much.
Yeah, a huge effort for Andrew Johns to make the journey down here tonight, and we do certainly appreciate that effort. We're here to present our award for the Punters pick for the most popular play. We've had thousands of entries come in. Could you please make the announcement of who the Punters pick for 2002 is?
And I'm glad to say that the winner is Andrew Johns.
It's like a hospital ward up here. Here you go. You can take one of the crutches. Just quickly, Andrew, won't keep you up very long at all. Plenty of awards, but to be popular with the people out there, that's important as well. And I guess, you know, you've had some criticism in the past, but that's all behind you.
Criticism of what?
Well, I mean, you know, like, mate, you lead the kind of lifestyle we would all love to lead, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it is nice. I'm probably lucky I come from Newcastle. We have a lot of supporters up there, but you know, I'd also like to think that you know, when we play away, that people like to come watch me play also. Yeah. So I think I play for the right reasons, and you know, this means a lot to me that all the people like to watch me play. So I feel very honoured to receive it.
Mate, we can tell you that plenty of Newcastle fans voted, but so too from all other 14 clubs as well. So that's well done. Andrew Johns, Punters pick of the year. And a special thank you again on crutches, one of our great swimmers, Petria Thomas. Thank you.
Well, you talk about tough. Our next position is front rower of the year, and our three candidates are as tough as they come. Have a look at this one.
Prop of the year. Willie Mason, Bulldogs. Matt Parsons, Knights. Shane Webke, Broncos.
All right, Fatty, can you do the honours? You played a bit of front row in your day, mate.
Yeah, played
twice.
Played everywhere.
All right, here it comes.
5'8".
Halfback.
Take it harder.
The props of the year are Shane Webke and Matt Parsons. What about you, mate? You just keep getting better as the years go by. What's the secret?
I don't know, mate. I'm just about finished, so I'll improve for another couple of years.
What about this week? It's obviously a massive challenge, and you being the go-forward man, a big responsibility. You're looking forward to it?
Yeah, it was going to be a massive challenge for us with our skipper and captain, Joey playing, but now he's not playing. We've all got to lift a little bit more, but at the same token, we're still playing and we've still got a chance, so we'll be trying our best on Sunday.
And mate, how does it feel? You received the first ever award for the Footy Show, the Scholarship Award. How does it feel? You've come on now, you're front row of the year.
Leaps and bounds, mate. Yeah, that was a highlight, wasn't it?
Oh, for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, please say thank you. Had a wonderful year. Front rowers of the year. Cheers.
Thanks, Chief. And well done to Matty Parsons and Shane Webke, two great prop forwards there. Now it's time to announce the winner of the Hooker of the Year, and here's the nominations.
Hooker of the Year. EJ Marsh, Warriors. Jason Deeth, Rabbitohs. Danny Buderus, Knights.
Let's go, Pete.
I'm ready. Here it comes. Last
something.
One. This is it.
Best hands in the business 20 years ago, and still got them. And the Hooker of the Year, the Footy Show Award Hooker of the Year, Danny Buderus. Well, I know you missed a game late in the year. Hand injury, you've had needles, everything sweet there?
Yeah, it's pretty sore, but everyone's sort of playing with those sort of things during end of the year, you know. So, yeah, looking forward to Sunday.
Yeah, it will be a massive game. Now, the Knights without the great Andrew Johns, only 3 from 12. It's a big task for you, but, I mean, you blokes have really got to lift, and it's on your shoulders and players like Matty Parsons to really lift the cog.
Yeah, the stats don't lie, do they? So, obviously, we've got to step up, and, yeah, we've trained really well today, and we trained a bit on Thursday, but we know how hard it's going to be. Like Matty says, it was going to be hard anyway with Andrews, so it's a real big game for us. So it'll be a big one for the club's history, I'd say.
Congratulations on a great year. Hooker of the Year for the Footy Show, Danny Buderus. Well done, Danny. And we're winding down now. After the break, we're going to announce the Footy Show Player of the Year. Welcome back. Well, it's the time for the big one. Time to announce the winner of the Footy Show Player of the Year. And to announce that, a very special person. He's had a magnificent season himself. Please make him welcome NRL Chief Executive David Gallop. Welcome, Dave.
Welcome, mate. Thanks.
Tough year for you, but nice chance to get here and relax tonight. You enjoyed yourself?
Oh no, it's been great. You know, you guys put a bit of fun into the season on a Thursday night, and we really appreciate it. So looking forward to finding out who the winner is.
And first of all, I think on behalf of all rugby league fans, I think we owe you a great deal of debt for the way you've conducted yourself. You've had an outstanding year yourself as Chief Executive. Well done.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. Well, mate, you've got the envelope. And it's going to be your pleasure to announce the Footy Show Player of the Year for 2002.
The Telstra Mobile Player of the Year goes to Andrew Johns.
Well, if your back wasn't crook before, it'll be crook now, taking home 30 large in the back pocket. Yeah, well done, mate.
I reckon I spent 30 large before I left this joint anyway.
You could too. Look out, easy. High rollers, here we come. It's all yours, mate. Congratulations on a fantastic year. I want to say a few words on behalf of your team, your players, your coach.
Yeah, I'd like to thank this award. I'd like to thank, obviously, rugby league's a team game, and especially in my position, I can't do what I can do without the players around me, especially the forward pack at Newcastle. They don't get many reps, but yeah, they do. But you know, I couldn't do what I do without them. And the rest of the players around me, the coaching staff at Newcastle, especially Michael Hagan. Every time I turn up to training, he makes it just a great environment to succeed. And everyone else in Newcastle, unfortunately, I'm not going to be there for the semis, but thanks for a great year, and everyone who has helped me out along the way. Thank you very much.
Well, we want to thank you for the enjoyment that you've given us again this year, but as we mentioned earlier, $10,000 tonight from your prize goes to a charity of your choice, which is?
Yeah, it's Ronald McDonald House in Newcastle. I'm actually the patron now of the Ron McDonald House up in Newcastle. It did sort of hit home to me how important it is until you probably have kids of your own. Yeah. And you see out there, you know, Ron McDonald House in Newcastle services people from Newcastle, the Hunter, all the way up the North Coast. You see families come down and, you know, they haven't got too much and their kids are crook, but they've still got hope. And, you know, the least you can do is provide help and, you know, that sort of stuff. So.
Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, our player of the year, Andrew Johns.
Yeah, what a truly magnificent rugby league player. It's a pleasure for all of us here to watch Andrew go around, and a fitting winner of our Player of the Year award tonight. I want to thank all the sponsors for tonight, in particular Telstra Mobile, Phillips, Harvey World Travel and Tui's. Don't forget to watch Thursday night's footy show because you can win plenty of money. I think it's $10,000 with our SMS competition.
It is. We'll announce the winner there. Of course, Mark Riddell will come in as our special guest, Andrew Johns. Billy Peden's coming down, and Troy Casadela will be performing live in the studio.
Going to sing a tune. Just about time to wrap it up. Before we do, I'd like to get all of our award winners out tonight. They are Footy Show Team of the Year. Here they come from out the back. Here they are, magnificent players. Thanks for watching the show. Thanks for supporting it. We'll see you on Thursday night. Bye for now.
He drinks a whiskey drink. He drinks a vodka drink. He drinks a lager drink. Drinks a fruity Lexia. He sings the songs that remind him of the good times. He sings the songs that remind him of the better times, boy. Oh, Danny boy, Danny boy, Danny boy. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Gallop, Gallop, Buddy David Moffat.
Mathew Johns has overcome a calf muscle strain and will play after being serious for just a second. The only man in league who could get away with making fun of Andrew Johns' injury woes did just that to his little brother Joey.
He can't feel sorry for himself. He does that. I'll be back, Matty. I'm gone. Help me up the stairs. So, mate, he really makes you sick. So I'll just leave it at that. He's had a good run of it anyway. He can't be complaining.
Hello everyone, welcome to the special edition of NRL on Fox. Now joining me tonight on the panel are Wally Lewis and Stephen Price. And Walt, the biggest news of the weekend, of course, Andrew Johns' injury. A big blow for the Newcastle Knights and rugby league supporters in general.
Yeah, it sure is. They're going to do it a little bit tough. I'm not sure whether Newcastle are going to be able to win it, certainly not in the current form that they're in at the moment, nor the form that Freddie Fittler's carrying at the moment, Laurie. I think he's in super form, probably the best form that I've seen for some time.
Yeah, he's playing great.
Had to hear Andrew Johns immediately reject any suggestion that he might be able to play if the Knights made the grand final. Now, he stated that he won't be taking any chances with the fractured vertebrae he suffered on Saturday night, and I think that's a pretty wise choice.
I think so too, Warren. I think that to risk any further damage would have been a decision that I'm sure he may have regretted if he'd come back earlier. Now, I know that Les Davidson continued to play on when he had a similar injury in 1997, but Andrew Johns is the world's best player. It means so much to Newcastle, and he's still got a lot of football in front of him, and I think sanity's prevailed.
Yeah, as he said, he didn't want to take any chances that might hinder him down the track as far as just living every day-to-day life.
Look, I think Andrew Johns has probably got 5 or 6 years of good football left in him, and to come back for the sake of maybe one game and risk it, I don't think that would have been the correct decision.
Okay, next week on the show, we'll have the pleasure of the Australian captain Andrew Johns joining us live here in the studio. He'll be able to tell us about the documentary which has just been released, which details his life in rugby league. And I've seen a little sneak preview of it. In fact, here is some of the vision. And take a look at this for classic Joey Johns, circa, well, I suppose about 20-odd years ago. And there's a few little mannerisms here which have stayed true throughout his rugby league life.
He looks like, well, he does look like Andrew Johns.
Who'd have believed it? What about this tackle? Have a look at this for a tackle. He brings down the big bloke, and he was crooked the big bloke too. He couldn't get up off the ground. And watch this left foot step. That is Andrew Johns to a T, isn't it? That is sensational stuff, and that's all, of course, in the documentary which has just been produced on his life, as we said, in rugby league. And he'll be here with us next week. That'll be a thrill.
Look forward to it.
That'll be good. Brett, good luck on the weekend. All the best against the Knights.
Thank you.
We'll see you fellas in close company soon once again. You'll be back next week, Steve.
Yeah, mate.
And see you over the weekend.
I will, mate. No more nudie, eh?
No, that is it for me. I am done for life. Thanks for watching at home. We'll see you next week as well. Good night.
This has been a Fox Sports production.
Sport now. Lately it's been non-stop action, some good, some bad for Australian and Newcastle Knights Rugby League captain Andrew Johns. This incident, a tackle that caused broken bones in his lower back, has put him out of the season for the finals. But on the other side of the ledger, he's picked up awards that underline that his reputation is that of the finest player in the game. And last night he released a biographical DVD explaining how he plays football. Andrew Johns is with us in the studio. Good to see you.
Thank you.
How is the back? I watched you walk in. You're not too flash at the moment, are you?
Yeah, a little bit ginger. Obviously, the last 2 days with the Footy Show Awards 2 days ago and launching the DVD, I've been doing a bit of work, so up early this morning, so I was a little bit sore, but manageable.
Can the Knights win without you? Newcastle have won just 3 of 11 matches over the past 2 years when you haven't been on the paddock.
Yeah, I think this week, not many people give us a chance. But our spirit at the club at the moment, is sky high. I know the guys have all united with, I suppose, the injury to me, and I'm very confident they'll win Sunday.
Let's talk about the DVD. Your brother Mathew features prominently in it. How good would you be without him?
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I think it was the environment I grew up with. My father coached rugby league back at Cessnock, and it was our life growing up. Me and Mathew, any time we had spare time, we'd be out playing together, kicking the ball around. So that's where we honed our skills, I suppose, in the backyard. And, in the DVD it talks about that. And, we're still very close and still talk about rugby league now.
It wasn't just football skills, though. I mean, on the DVD, your dad talks about you and Mathew hitting golf balls with cricket stumps.
Yeah.
Developing your ball handling skills by sort of dropping the leather ball in a tub of soap.
Yeah. That's they're all the stories. I don't know how true they are, but they sound all right. But it was all sports we used to play, and growing up in Cessnock was soccer and rugby league in winter and cricket in summer and all sorts of sports. But eventually we just kept the rugby league.
We're looking at some of the early home videos of you playing with your dad's commentary on them.
No, I don't think it's my dad actually.
Isn't it?
No, it's not. I don't know who it is.
When did you realise how good you were?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I think natural talent got me so far. Probably got me to junior representative level at the Knights, and then that's probably when the hard work and dedication took over. Even when I was sort of 17, 18-year-old, I still wasn't the best player on the side. But, while I suppose some kids at 18, 19 went on a different track and chose other things to do, I pretty much concentrated on football, trained my backside off, and I suppose playing, getting the rewards now.
Have we seen the best of Andrew Johns, or is there more to come?
I hope there's more to come. I'm only 28 now, and I think I'm still learning some things on the field. As you get older, you mature, and I like to think that I can still play a little bit better.
Is it still a game these days, or for Andrew Johns is it now a job?
No, not at all. It's still a game, and I like to think I play for the right reasons, and that's why my motivation's so high. I'm not driven by money or anything else. I play because I love the atmosphere in a football club. I love the camaraderie, being around all the guys, and just getting out there each week and playing football. I love it.
Do you still get as much out of playing as you did, say, 5 years ago?
Yeah, for sure. Even maybe more now, because I think there's more pressure on me now and there's bigger build-up to games, more expected of me. So when you do go out and succeed, you really get a kick out of it.
Andrew, on the DVD, you talk about responsibility. These days, who is it to more? Is it to you personally or to the game in the bigger sense?
A little bit of both. I've been named Australian captain, and that carries a lot of responsibility within the game, especially now in my position in the game. A lot of people look up to me, so it does carry a lot of responsibility. So just got to make sure I do the right things and stay out of trouble.
Where did the name Joey come from?
I come along probably when I was born, and my father wanted to call me some ridiculous name.
What was it? Did he ever tell you?
Tig, T-I-G.
He wanted to call you Tig
Yes.
Johns.
So thank God Mum put a foot down and said Andrew, so he said, well, I'm going to call him Joey then. And that's how it come about. So
and it's stuck ever since?
Yeah, it's stuck ever since.
All right, I know you're doing a lot of store appearances. Hope you get well soon. It's going to be tough sitting on the sidelines watching a grand final, especially if the Knights are in it.
I'd love to see him get there.
All right.
Love to see him get there.
OK, mate, good to see you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Andrew.
And just to finish tonight, Tim, a bit of news from the Newcastle Knights, which we probably already know. They're going to have 2 goal kickers trying to fill the role of Andrew Johns here at Aussie Stadium on Sunday. Daniel Abraham will take the long kicks, Billy Peden will take the short. That's how difficult it is to replace the game's best player.
Absolutely. Tony Peters joining us. Thank you.
Now look, Darryl Brohman joins us tonight. He's out somewhere special. I'll tell you where he is. He's live at the Burwood Hotel in Newcastle. And he's got some very special guests. What's doing, Daz?
Yeah. How are you, Fatty? Yeah, I have got some special guests here at the moment. I'm at the Burwood Hotel. We made our way up here in the Hyundai, and how good did it go? We just go in here. We've got to get in here to see these special guests. I know you want to talk to them. I'll just hopefully won't fall over here. We'll just go through the punters in the bar here as we make our way through the Burwood Hotel. Look, no noise. Look at all these people looking fantastic. Of course, there's been a big race meeting on here today, and I think a few of them may have had a good day, let me tell you, as we make our way through here. People just getting heads on television, fantastic. Coming through here, still making our way through. Come on through here. Everybody, we'll make our way through. Now, those 2 special guests we've got, of course, Andrew John and Billy Peden sitting here, and I'm sure, Fatty, you and the boys would like to ask them a few questions.
Joey, you pull up fine from Tuesday night?
Yeah, not too bad. Been on the best painkiller there is. I've been down here since 10 o'clock this morning, so there's not much pain in the back.
And you must have been very proud to be voted the Footy Show Player of the Year.
Yeah, it's always nice to receive those awards, and also the Punters' Choice. It's nice that people, the people, not only Newcastle people, that other people, voted for me. But great honour, Footy Player of the Year.
And
definitely.
Andrew, Billy, a great 9 years at the club. It is all starting to wind down, but you were a favourite on this show way back in 1994. We just want to refresh your memory just a moment.
Yeah, is there something coming up? Well, there's some terrific news. Bill Peden, reserve grade's been dropped, mate, and it's an uproar. He's been the best player all year, and he's been dropped. What about that?
So welcome to the show again. You've been pushing Billy Peden's barrow from Newcastle for 2 weeks, and you finally got him in the team for the grand final. Congratulations.
Well, thanks, mate. I've been pushing his barrow. I just stated he's a very good player, and amongst all the reserve grade forwards there at the Knights, very good players, but that's right, he is starting. But I'm sure Robert Finch will circulate all the forwards through like he has been doing and do a very good job.
Yeah. Billy, the Chief was 100% right. You've come a long way in 9 years, and I guess you've epitomised what the Newcastle Rugby League team is all about. It's obviously been good fun.
Yeah, obviously good fun. It's been a hell of a ride, a long time, I think 180, 190 games, so it's been a lot of fun and met a lot of nice people over the times. And actually Andrew was just in my ear then saying I should say something about Choose Flat Top back then, but it's looking as good as ever. But no, it's been a great time, and hopefully there's a couple more games left yet.
Billy, you never would have thought back in those days the fact that now you've won 2 grand finals and you're club captain. It's a great story.
It's obviously something I'm very proud of. If you'd have said I'd have achieved that, 10 years ago, I would have laughed at you. But to have been able to be in the position to play in a couple of grand finals, let alone win a couple, it's a great thing, and something I'm very proud of.
What about this weekend, Billy? Obviously more pressure on because the bloke next to you isn't there, but How do you think this weekend will go?
Obviously, it's going to be a tough game. My little mate next to me, he's out, so it's going to be a lot harder job. But our boys are pretty confident, and we've worked pretty hard through the week, and we're pretty hopeful of a good result.
Joey, there's been a lot of talk about the fact that you're going to be out. Have you spoke to the boys? Have you been there at training? How are they going?
I didn't go today, mate, because I've been pretty busy in Sydney with the launch of the DVD and stuff. But I'll go tomorrow on Saturday, and I'm going to go down, travel with the boys down to camp Saturday, and probably not so much to the side, but probably have a word to Johnny Morris and Sean Rudd. Just a quick word to them. But I think the boys have really united, especially with all the people downing them, especially this weekend. I think you'll see a great effort from the boys.
Joey, it's Mark Ridelli, mate. I've tipped the Knights this weekend to take the Roosters. Do you think the fact that you're so dominant at halfback that you're going to see a big game from the likes of Danny Buderus and Benny Kennedy and Matt Gidley playing a lot bigger role this weekend?
Yeah, I hope so, definitely. Yeah, if you look at our side on paper, we've still got 4 or 5 internationals there. And I'm sure Danny will step up. There's a lot more responsibility on him. Ben Kennedy, without doubt, I think he'll provide all the aggression and enthusiasm. But I think right across the board, I think all we've got to do is everyone go out and concentrate on their own game the best they can. If we do that, then we're a big chance. You win big games by defence, so if we're tearing in defence, we're a big chance.
Yeah, Joey, you played with Billy all his career. What did it mean to you and to all the rest of the Newcastle teammates to have Billy in the team?
Yeah, it's probably a good example for other people. Billy didn't come down to the Knights till he's 24 or so, did you, Bill? Yeah. He was playing for Cessnock and come down and played, I think, reserve grade halfback first up, and then through hard work and dedication got a start with the Knights, and got on to play 200 first grade games, win 2 grand finals, and as a great example for all the young players in the Knights for what hard work does. He's always first at training.
He's
his backside off.
I'll tell you what, I'll test you, mate. I'll add to that.
I'll fix up with that 50 later, mate.
Because when you're standing into the defence line, there's no one better to be with than Billy Peden. There's something to be said about honesty, and it doesn't matter how tired he gets or how tough the game is, he's always there. Billy, what about next year? Are you going to have a run overseas, or are you going to wrap it up?
At this stage, Chief, I'll be heading over. I've obviously got to sort a few details out, but I'm hoping to finish my career over in England and have a good time over there for a couple of years and then come back and enjoy my lifestyle back in Newcastle, mate.
All right, thanks, boys. Good on you. Billy, Pete and Joey Johns there. Thanks, fellas.
Yeah, once again, good of Andrew Johns to give us his time tonight. He mentioned the DVD launch. That was in Sydney last night. It's called Joey, the Andrew Johns story so far, and it goes back to his young days in Cessnock. Plenty of tips in there for young players as well. Phil Gould was there to introduce him last night. Plenty of the greats of our game lauding his talents. And it's a great DVD. I've seen segments of it, and something that really you need to have in your library, Chief.
Yeah, no, it's a dead set ripper. You've got to get that one. He's one of the great players, and he shows all his skills. Also, I just must mention as well is that Billy Peden is having his testimonial next Monday night. Now, that's at Club Nova, Panthers Club Nova there in Newcastle. You can get the tickets. It's not much. It's basically a donation to go to Bill's charity. And there's still a few tickets left. There's plenty of people coming. It'll be a great night, so make sure you get there. He's one of Newcastle's favourite sons. There it is next Monday night.
All right, it's been a good start to the show. As we go to the first break, this is very interesting, this next little segment. It's Reg meets Trent.
Hello, I'm Reagan. Welcome to a special edition of REG'S RANT. Punters in the media like to do film reviews. Other tossers with stupid hats like to do music reviews. But me, I'm a calendar man. And what about this one? The 2003 Newcastle Knights calendar. And to help me review it, I've got a bloke here that's seen more dates than any calendar in history. Trent, the flight steward.
Hi, Raj.
It's Reg, you poof! Hey, how about putting that soap in the shower once in a while? You smell like a brewery. Smell like a brewery. I mightn't use soap, you little germ, but at least I don't drop it. Now stop mincing around and do what you're here for. Review the calendar. Oh my God, this is awesome. Have a look at some of these boys. Danny the body Buderus, sitting inside a big tire. I'll tell you what, Raj, I'd like to show him that much rubber. Righto, keep a lid on it. Who's next? Mr. March, Adam McDougall. McDougall, you dickhead! What about that fireman look? I've always been a sucker for a guy holding a hose. So oh my goodness, it's young Clint Newton, son of golfing great Jack Newton, isn't it, Raj? Yeah. How's his golf? If he ever needed a caddy, I'd be just more than happy to polish his wood and clean his balls. What are these blokes thinking? There's only one bloke in here who knows how to dress for a calendar shot, and that's Mark Hughes. Look at him. Thongs and jeans. He's a fucking nuppy and he's proud of it. Boozy, they call him. He's a legend. I love him. He's the skipper, Raj. The captain. The big buff cocky. Old fat ass. I'm surprised they found a jet engine big enough to fit his massive ass. With my time sticking him in the engine. If he was on my plane, I'd have him right up in the cockpit. Oh, come on. What about this, Raj? Two guys going hard at it in the ring. Bring back any memories? Memories? I'll give you memories, you little queer. I'll put one so hard on your chin you won't remember your precious memories. Settle down, you big brute. I give the calendar the big thumbs up. Well, you do give most things the big thumbs up. I suppose for a bunch of Nancy boys it's okay. Proceeds go to the NBN telethon. But if it wasn't for charity, I'd tell them they could go and get stuffed. So would I.
The other semi, the in-form Roosters against the Knights, minus, and they don't like us mentioning this, minus Andrew Johns.
Yeah, Tim, you can't avoid it, can you? But the Knights haven't really got a lot going for them. I know it's a pretty silly thing to say at the moment, but they've got 4 forwards carrying injuries at the moment, 2 of them up front. Now, they're also out of form at the moment. They've lost 2 in a row to the Dragons. They're without Andrew Johns, which you can't deny, which means they've got to lack a little bit of direction around the place and maybe a bit of belief in themselves to do it without him. But the Roosters, though, remain wary.
Come semi-final time, everybody lifts, every player in the team lifts, and they're going to have a point to prove. So I really do think that they might even be a bit more dangerous without Joey there.
If you lose any major player in your team, if you lose a Fittler or a Lockyer or someone like that, it's going to affect your team. But we've got to just get around that, and we've trained really well this week, and he is the best player in the world, so we're going to miss him, but we've got a great team still on there, and we're real confident of going really well.
Yeah, and this one, the record books tend to favour the Roosters.
Except for the fact that the Knights won the first round match 28 points to 12 this year. You've got to notice, Tim, though, that 8 of 11 matches the Knights have dropped without Andrew Johns on the field this year. That's a very damning statistic, to say the least. And also, the other point that comes out of it, your Roosters, very, very much in form. They've won 6 in a row, and all those wins have been against top 8 sides.
Cronulla's Chris Beattie is currently taking part in a full contact training session to see if his rib cartilage injury will stand up to semi-finals football. The prop may be given until kick-off tomorrow night against the Dragons to prove his fitness. In Sunday's semi, the Roosters will start favourites at home against the Knights.
In the fight for this year's title, the Roosters are top contenders. At home, they've lost just 1 of their past 12 matches, but claim no edge playing on their turf.
Never really called the City Footy Stadium a home advantage. Everyone loves playing there. All the facilities are fantastic. It's the best place in the world. Sydney, who wouldn't want to play there?
The Knights' John Morris will try to fill the void left by the injured Andrew Johns. Sunday's semi will be Morris's first top-grade game as halfback. As a winger, he scored 11 tries this season, 2 of those against the Roosters.
They've got a point to prove, and they want to prove to everyone that they can win without Joey, so we're even more cautious about them now.
Sunday, the Johnsless Knights meet the Roosters, desperate to prove they can still defend their premiership.
We've still got a good squad here and a confident squad that we can, put a few more good performances in yet.
Jeff Bullock, 7 News.
The other team not playing this weekend, of course, is Brisbane. Now, they will play the winner of tomorrow's match, the Roosters versus the Knights. The Roosters going for 7 straight wins. They are the form side of the NRL at the moment. The Knights, on the other hand, well, they're in tatters. Without Andrew Johns, they've only won 3 of 11 matches in the past 2 seasons. And this is how their hooker, Danny Buderus, reacted to that statistic.
Mate, the stats don't lie, do they? So that's something that we've got to wear, and just got to get out there and go 100% and see what we can come up with.
In a twist of a tackle and a bend of a knee, a season was finished. And Johns is hurt. Almost everyone has written off the Newcastle Knights, everyone except themselves and their opponents.
They're going to have a point to prove, so I really do think that they might even be a bit more dangerous without Joey there.
everyone who's going to play for Newcastle this weekend is going to aim up, so it's still going to be just as hard whether he's there or not, and probably even harder now that he's not there.
Filling in for the game's best, a third-year PE student, Johnny Morris, 22 years old and with talent to burn.
And now, a chance for Morris to get number 2. The kick ahead is good for him, and he puts it over the line.
Yeah, it's obviously a big responsibility for me this week. You know, playing this position, I'm no stranger to it. I've played all my juniors football in the halves and a lot of first division last year, but haven't played much at this level. But look, the boys have been great with me so far, and I'm confident that I can get the job done. And
could Morris be the surprise saviour, or will the Roosters simply focus and dissect? Defensively, they've been standouts. But with hard man Adrian Morley out suspended, they could lack intensity.
Big loss. He's played a big part in our defence and in our stinging defence. So we're all going to have to lift a bit for him not being there.
Well, 3 o'clock is the kick-off tomorrow. The defending premiers against the Sydney Roosters right here at Aussie Stadium.
Andrew Johns was in the year of John Morris all the way down from Newcastle this afternoon. While the Roosters have also lost suspended prop Adrian Morley for tomorrow's knockout game, it just doesn't compare with the Knights' misfortune.
The fact that a lot of people don't expect us to win the game has almost put a little bit of an easy goer about us at the moment.
Their fans are among the most devoted in the game, and last year's premiers need all the help they can get. Clinton Fletcher, National 9 News.
What about the match today between the Roosters and Newcastle Knights? Can they win without Joey Johns?
The Newcastle fans don't seem to think so. They certainly haven't sold the number of tickets in Newcastle that they anticipated. This is going to be an intriguing match. I'm genuinely excited about the tactics that are going to be employed today, because the Roosters have changed to an up and in defence this year, and that can be exploited by cut-out long balls to the wings or kicks in behind.
Yeah, but you haven't got the bloke who is an absolute specialist as that, the big long pass or the little kick in behind.
Yeah, that is true. And so that's therefore have suggested that there may be sort of some tactical changes in their team for the opening side of the kick-off. But in the end, I suppose, semi-final, if we could see a total reversal of what we saw last night, it could be a gruelling game right up the middle, because Newcastle's pack makers, in some minds of many people, certainly Newcastle, is very much underrated. So it's a game that's got so many intriguing tactical possibilities and should fill the stadium.
Yeah, I reckon they can win, but I don't think they can win the comp. I know it's an odd thing to say. I think they can win today, but I don't think Newcastle can win 3 games in a row without Andrew Johns.
Yeah, good point. Agreed.
But Mathew Johns is the big story out of last night. He may have played his last game for the season. Certainly that was the way Mathew was thinking after the game. I caught up with him in the rooms with that shoulder problem he suffered in the first half.
Well, Mathew, Luke Bailey's done some damage to the Johns brothers in this past week. What's the diagnosis on your injury?
Well, we think I had a shoulder injury about 8 weeks ago on this ground, and by the way, it's got a lot to do with that injury. Basically, sort of lost a lot of strength in my shoulder, and I think I've done some damage in it, which, I'm trying to remain, optimistic, but, it doesn't look good, to be honest. I saw him after the game, and I said to him, mate, well done, you got done the Cornella.
Now, the best player in the game is Andrew Johns, and he won our Footy Show Player of the Year award during the week, also the Halfback of the Year, and was the Punters pick as the best player in the year. And Phil Gould caught up with Andrew and had a nice little chat with him.
Hooper and Riles, and Johns is hurt. Johns is clutching at the base of the spine area.
I've always said I reckon the player knows best. Did you know it was serious when it first happened?
Yeah, as soon as he hit me, I knew the season was gone. It was just, I can't describe the pain. It was just that intense. It nearly made me physically ill. I was dry reaching by the time I got to my feet, and I just knew I couldn't run. I had this pain shooting down my right leg, which was a bit of a worry considering I got knocked in the back. But I said I was no good. Went in the sheds, and they laid me down in the medical room. When I got in the medical room, I sort of fell half asleep. The body's pretty much shut down. Then they took me up to the hospital and done the X-ray and found out. But I knew straight away I was gone.
It looked for a couple of minutes as though you were nearly in denial. I mean, you walked around thinking, well, I hope this comes good, but it always looked as though you were going to go off.
Yeah, being a player yourself, Gus, you get corks and you can run them out. And I try to get moving, try to get the blood going through it, but the more I run, run, the more pain was going down my leg, and the more pain in my back, I just knew I was gone. And it was a big game for the Knights. It was a big game for me, actually. I was disappointed we didn't get the minor premiership the week before. Built myself up that week to have a really big semi-final series, and I could just feel the first 7 minutes that we're on. You know, we were hitting hard in defence, our kick chase was on, there was a lot of talk, the enthusiasm was there. I could see, you know, things starting to turn around for us, and then all taken away. It was devastating.
No, well, he's just waved to the bench, and I'm pretty sure he's off because he will become a liability in defence.
What were you thinking about in the dressing room? I mean, was your mind out on the field with your teammates, or were you starting to worry about the seriousness of your injury?
Yeah, I was pretty worried, actually, because you know, a few doctors were there, and you know, the first diagnosis was I've broke these bones in my back, and you know, you get injuries, you can sort of, you know, get through them, but talking about a broken back, it sort of knocks you around a bit. And after half time, I went out and sort of laid on the bench and watched the guys, and I was just that proud of how courageous they were. Obviously, it would have been hard for the younger guys to see me go off, being the captain and the leader of the side, but you know, they stuck to their guns. They could have thrown it in when, you know, St George got 10 points ahead, but they fought back and got to a stage they could have won the game, so I was that proud of them, but just would have loved to have been out there with them.
So how are you physically now? I mean, what's the prognosis physically for you?
Yeah, I'm about probably 6 weeks away from being 100%. Apparently around the injury, around the bones, there's a lot of muscle, and that sort of keeps it nice and compact. It'll heal fine, no operation at all, and I'll just pretty much put my feet up for 6 weeks and it should be fine.
Are you bitter about the incident, or is it part of football?
No, it's part of football. I'm not bitter towards St George, towards Luke Bailey or Andrew Farrell or anything. You know, I'm on the field, I've done things that I'm not proud of. I've done things to players, and I suppose I've hurt them and been punished for it. And you know yourself, if there's a key player in a tackle standing up, it's fair game. You know, it's a body collision game. You got to take the good with the bad, and I got no bitterness. They got a good shot on me.
Available now on DVD and VHS. Joey, the Andrew Johns story so far. An exclusive insight into the genius that is Andrew Joey Johns. His finest moments in the game. Insights from those who know him best. And exclusive training tips where Joey teaches you how to do the banana kick and more. It's the story of the world's #1 rugby league player, Joey, the Andrew Johns story so far.
And welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. Time for Around the Grounds, and first up today we focus on two players under the most pressure in the Newcastle Knights lineup going into this afternoon as they look to cover for the loss of Andrew Johns. That is Matt Parsons, who's been handed the captaincy for the first time, and of course John Morris, who will wear the number 7 jumper today in a first grade semi-final. Let's hear from both players. First of all, Matt Parsons on the thrill of being named skipper.
Oh yeah, I think it's a pleasure under the circumstance. The circumstances aren't ideal to be doing it, obviously, but someone had to do it, so I think Haig's opted for me, and it's a great honour to be the captain this week, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's obviously a big responsibility for me this week. You know, playing this position, I'm no stranger to it. I've played all my juniors, football in the halves and a lot of first division last year, but haven't played much at this level. But look, the boys have been great with me so far, and I'm confident that I can get the job done. And look, I'll just play to the best of my ability, and there's the players I've got around me. You know, they've still got 5 internationals in the side, and they'll be making my job a lot easier. So, I'm looking forward to the challenge. I think it'll be a good one.
All right, Andrew Johns, a very interesting interview. We're halfway through it. Here's the second part.
It's Andrew Johns who will score it for Newcastle. What a devastating 2 minutes. Again with Johns from dummy half, allowed to run. He's allowed to go over the line. Johns has scored.
What about season 2002? A lot of personal achievements. I mean, Dally M winner, Footy Show Player of the Year, captain of New South Wales, captain of Australia, winning a test match. Yet on the other side of that, New South Wales, the Origin series taken away late in the game, and now you're not going to get a chance to defend the premiership.
Yeah, this is the one that hurts the most, because you know, all my goals are team related, winning premierships, obviously playing Origin football, and winning an Origin series. But this is the one that means the most. You train all off-season with the guys. You're that close to them, they're like brothers to you. I'm the leader of the side, I'm the captain of the side. I suppose they look to me for guidance. I've busted my backside this year for 26 rounds. I've backed up after rep football, played injured. And now when the cream comes, when the big games come and you want to play in front of the big crowds, against the best players, with the most at stake, it's all taken away. So, mate, devastated at the moment.
You said you laid in hospital and thought a bit about the injury. I mean, broken bones in your back. What if the doctor had come to you and said, Johnsy, this is it, career over? I mean, what would Andrew Johns do?
I don't know. I wouldn't have a clue. But, rugby league's my life, so it'd still be in my life. I'd do something in rugby league, but what I'm most enjoyable is when I'm playing. I'm most comfortable when I'm out in the field for that 80 minutes. So if that was taken away from me... I
mean, has this showed you that it's not going to last forever?
It is, mate. And that's why my form over the past 3 years has picked up. When you're young and bulletproof and 21, 22, you play forever, you play till you're 50. But when you get older, you realise, hang on, there's only so many games I can get out of these leagues. You've got to make sure every one is a good one. And that's why I think the last couple of years my form's been consistent. But, it goes to show you can't take things for granted.
And Johns will do it himself.
All right, well, the rest of the season, so however far the Knights go, I mean, what role is Andrew Johns going to play? Is it now just Michael Hagan into your team, or are you going to be involved in all that?
Yeah, I'm going to help Hags out a lot. I spoke to him on the phone a few times today about how we're going to play the Roosters, where we can be successful at them, and just probably a lot of one-on-one stuff with Sean Rudder. I think he's going to be under a lot of pressure. He's the bloke who's got to be steering around the park, and just giving him the confidence he needs, and maybe just my presence around. I'm not one for big speeches. Even when I'm playing, I don't say too much to the guys. So maybe when my presence is just there, then hopefully I'll give the boys a lift.
Interesting choice, Matty Parsons as captain. I mean, I think the coach is looking for a message there for his team.
Yeah, he tossed up apparently between Matt Parsons and Ben Kennedy. Obviously, Billy Peden's the club captain, but he was looking for the future with Billy going to England next year. He just thought maybe Ben might have played a little bit on Ben's mind. He's, as you know...
Well, you're going to get inspiration from Ben anyway.
Yeah.
It's going to give Matt Parsons a lift.
And Ben's a sort of bloke, you pretty much just got to let him go. You don't know whether to talk to him, or you really don't know what's going inside that head sometimes. So I think it's best to let Ben go. He, as you said, he's going to lead the boys. He'll be inspirational. But Matt Parsons will get a lift out of it. When it was announced he was captain, he had a massive smile on his face. And it's a massive honour to captain the Knights, captain your club. And, he'll lead from the front. He'll have a big game.
If Newcastle win the comp without you, how will you feel?
Mate, I'll be elated. I'll be that happy for them. And get that monkey off the back that they can't win without me. But, you don't win premierships by flashy plays. You win it by tenacious defence. And that's what the boys are going to build their game on, defence.
So they can win?
So they can win.
The magnificent Andrew Johns is a freak.
There you go, and they're the teams that meet today. Newcastle take on the Roosters. The winner of this match today take on Brisbane next Saturday night to fight out the right to play in the grand final the following week. And the Roosters line up this way. And it's a very, very impressive team, especially the forward pack and the back row. And I might say Brian Fletcher has hit some form late in the season, Phil.
Yeah, I think the key to it is that it is a team. I think that everyone's pulling their weight and all 17 players have been turning up every week. And Ricky Steward said to them about 8 weeks ago, they're not the sort of side where, 8 or 10 can turn up and expect to win the game, particularly against the top sides. And it's been their strength. Everyone's been turning up to play, and hopefully they can turn up again today, because I really rate their opposition as a strong side. Plenty of rep players there, have a look at it, and particularly in the back line, Gidley and Tahu, I thought they with Simpson and Kennedy were outstanding against the Dragons last week when Johns went off, and they'll carry that on, and pretty strong off the bench too. Abraham O'Doherty and
I tell you what,
they got a side. It's
John Morris,
good forward pack.
Pressure on John Morris, but I thought he handled it well last week when Joey went off. He come on to halfback, and he thought he played really well. And it's a chance for him today to stand up and say, "Listen, I can play. Have a look at this."
Any kid that plays his whole junior league at halfback and then makes first grade as a utility back, centre, wing, fullback, and represents country. Has got something going for him. Now, he stepped into it last week. I thought he took about 10 minutes to settle into it, but I thought his second half was good. He gets a week with the fellas this week. They'll simplify their game plan, and they're going to be hard to beat.
And Newcastle got a big pack in front of them too. So
mate, I can't wait to get there today, because I love watching Newcastle Roosters game, because they both like to throw the ball around a little bit, and they'll both be very, very aggressive. And I'm so glad I'm calling the game, because it's just too nervous sitting in the green stand.
But when they need that something special, Andrew Johns is not there to provide it though.
Anyway, our man on the spot is out there, that man being Jason Taylor, one of the greatest halfbacks of all time. And JT joins us out there from Aussie Stadium. What's doing, Jason?
Morning, boys. It's
hey,
beautiful, beautiful out here. It's sudden death footy, as you've mentioned. It doesn't get any more exciting, and it's a time where coaching and tactics become all important. For the Newcastle Knights and Michael Hagan, victory today will have to be based on a massive defensive effort. If they can limit the Roosters' points, it'll go a long way to taking the pressure off a Knights attack that won't be quite the same as we've seen all year without Andrew Johns there. They need to put pressure on the Roosters kickers in Brad Fittler and Craig Wing, and match a Roosters forward pack that in the second half of the year has dominated all comers. For the Roosters and Ricky Steward, it really is a matter of more of the same. However, with Andrew Johns out and the fact that they haven't tasted defeat for something like 7 weeks, complacency could be their biggest hurdle. You'd imagine that the Roosters would win. They are the favourites, but as we know, and as I found out last year, favourites don't always win come September. Should be a great one. I'm really looking forward to it.
What's the day like out there, Jason, for our fans watching around Australia? Good day?
It's absolutely perfect, Fatty. The sun's shining, and a few people will get red faces by the end of the day, probably from as much as screaming for their team as they will from the sun shining down, but it's just great conditions. You have to come down here and witness what's going to be a great clash.
All right, thanks, Jason Taylor there, our man on the spot, as per usual, giving a very good report. We'll take a break and come back and wrap it up. You're watching the Sunday Footy Show.
Available now on DVD and VHS. Joey, the Andrew Johns story so far. An exclusive insight into the genius that is Andrew Joey Johns. His finest moments in the game. Insights from those who know him best. And exclusive training tips where Joey teaches you how to do the banana kick and more. It's the story of the world's #1 rugby league player, Joey, the Andrew Johns story so far.
And the Knights self-destruct.
Again here, Fittler, he didn't have to, but he passes.
A second half onslaught by the Roosters has knocked Newcastle out of the NRL finals race. The scores were locked at 6-6 at half-time, but 6 Roosters tries after the break overwhelmed the reigning premiers.
No Andrew Johns, but Newcastle still had enough stars in the stable to ruffle the Roosters' feathers early.
Gets it back for Kennedy. Kennedy is over.
They could have had 2, but Kurt Gidley didn't know what to do, and there was worse to come as they lost Matt Parsons to a shoulder injury, but still the Knights made all the running.
He's been taken by Mullins. It looked high.
Bailey bounced the ball over the line only for setter Tamana Tahu to bomb yet another try on the other side. Missed opportunities came back to haunt them when they fumbled a Fittler bomb, and Chad Robinson scored to tie it up at the break. The Roosters thought they had another one when Todd Byrne cleaned up, but it was ruled no try, much to Joey's relief. If Newcastle's Sean Rudder had an extra bit of pace, they would have hit the lead in the race. Instead, the Roosters jumped early off their line, and Craig Fitzgibbon's intercept turned the game in a whisker.
They're going to get him, but he'll make it.
Ruled onside, the Roosters ran in 4 tries in just over 10 minutes to book a place against Brisbane.
It's no race. Minicello sprinting over the ground.
and we've got Brisbane, who were the premiers the year before. It'll make it all more worthwhile when we get through.
The Roosters firing up at the finish as the premiers bowed out. Patrick Mollahan, 7 News.
The Sharks ended the Dragons season last night. Brett Kimmorley engineered the 16-point win, but it came at a cost, with Jason Stevens on report and Mathew Johns facing retirement after suffering a serious shoulder injury.
While his teammates soaked up their first finals win of the year, Matt Johns was sounding close to retirement.
It'd be nice to go out with a grand final win, but like I said, I can't win. I've had a good run.
He suffered the neck and shoulder injury tackling the same Luke Bailey whose knees ended brother Andrew's season.
I said to him after the game, I said, mate, you got the Quinella, you got Joey last week and me this week. The only difference is I won't win and carry on like Joey did last week.
Ken Sutcliffe with sport is next, and the Roosters now set to play the Broncos.
Jim, after eliminating a very disappointing Newcastle. At Aussie Stadium, the Sydney Roosters scored 20 points in the space of just 7 minutes to bury Newcastle and set up an appointment with Brisbane. At half-time, the scores were level at 6-all, but in a bizarre second half, the Roosters ran out comfortable winners 38-12.
All week, Newcastle had heard only one thing: no chance without Andrew Johns, unless the other names stood up.
Buderus scampers away from dummy half, gets it back for Kennedy.
Buderus, Kennedy and Simpson never stopped. And when the Knights lost their stand-in captain with a shoulder injury, there was more work to be shared.
But that tackle hurt him.
Newcastle should have had at least 3 tries on the board before the Roosters answered. Mullen's high shot on Bailey finished with a Knights penalty. Then Tahu fumbled across the line.
And loses the ball.
Newcastle should have been runaway leaders. Instead, it was 6-all at half-time. The second 40 produced even more tension. Fittler threatened to take over. Then the Knights missed another chance.
But the ball goes to ground.
It was one of those nerve-wracking games. In the race to the line, Rudder was flying, but Minicello had a little bit more. Newcastle tried to push the advantage, but then the game took another turn. From his own line, Fitzgibbon grabbed the intercept, and it was a 90-metre dash for glory.
They're gonna get him, but he'll make it.
From there, the score blew out. 3 more Roosters tries in 7 minutes was another twist, and the fatigue factor took over. After a flat start, the Roosters finished 26-point winners.
Those little things come out like the Anthony Minicello chase, stuff like that. That keeps it kicking, keeps it ticking over.
Clinton Fletcher, National 9 News.
Cronulla's Mathew Johns is considering retirement after suffering another bad shoulder injury during the Sharks' win over St George Illawarra. Last night, the season ended for Johns and the Dragons, the Sharks scoring 7 tries to 4 in their 40-24 win.
In their element this morning, one Shark out of order was Mathew Johns. Last night, trying to tackle Luke Bailey, Johns suffered a season-ending shoulder injury from the same Dragon who sidelined brother Andrew.
Yeah, I said to him after the game, I said, mate, you got the Quinella, you got Joey last week and me this week. The only difference is I won't win and carry on like Joey did last week.
To week 2 of the National Rugby League finals, and it's good night Newcastle. The Premiers knocked out by the form team of the finals, the Sydney Roosters. Leanne West has more.
The scoreline here was a blowout, but this match was anybody's until the 60th minute and an extraordinary turn of events.
And Rudder's into space.
It was 6-all when Newcastle 5/8 Sean Rudder looked certain to score. Roosters winger Anthony Minicello coming from nowhere to save the try.
Minicello's tackle will be one of the all-time best in the semi-final.
The first 5 minutes I didn't think I was going to catch him, but no. But after that, I sort of see myself getting closer and closer, and luckily enough I made a tackle.
Now just seconds after the Minicello tackle, the intercept try that tipped the match the Roosters' way. Rob Canning caught up with the man of the moment.
Well, joining us is Craig Fitzgibbon, the man who turned this match, but mate, you don't see it that way.
No, I think probably the next try was probably more crucial. I think the turning point was Anthony Minicello chasing Sean Rudder down. I think that was probably more important than my try, but it just turned out a bit lucky that I got the intercept and got the try, I suppose.
Runners through your try, 80-metre run, and your legs were pumping the whole time.
Yeah, on the spot they were. I wasn't getting any faster, that's for sure, but I don't know, it's my first runaway try, I think, so yeah, I was pretty happy about it.
Did you have your eyes on Buderus? He was closing in on you.
Yeah, a bit of a blur, really. I don't know who was chasing me. I just remember seeing the line and thinking, if I didn't make it, well, quick play the ball. Next set of 6 we might be able to put something together. So yeah, it just worked out that I got the try.
It wasn't just the try, you had a huge game.
Yeah, the scoreboard didn't reflect how hard it was though. Newcastle really turned up to play and they bashed us up a bit in the first half, and then in the second half, but we did skip away, but the scoreboard certainly didn't reflect on how hard a match it was.
Well played today, mate.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Now, after the Fitzgibbon try, the floodgates opened. The Roosters piling on 32 points in 20 minutes. Their coach not overly happy with the way they played, but there was one very pleasing aspect.
That's scrambling and desperation in defence. We defended as though our lives were on it, and that's what's been getting us through the last 8 weeks. So
one incident of concern for the Roosters, the try-saving tackle by winger Brett Mullins on the Knights winger Julian Bailey. Now, Mullins wasn't put on report.
It was just one of those reactions. He stepped inside and I obviously made a desperate tackle, but he got up and tried to score again, so I don't think it worried him at all.
On the Newcastle side of the ledger, they were written off without their injured captain, Andrew Johns, and they also lost their stand-in captain, Matt Parsons, early in the match. But the Premiers, despite that final scoreline, really pushed the Roosters.
I thought they tried very hard, they played well, they threw everything at us.
Unfortunately, a couple of mistakes cost us, and in semi-finals you can't get those opportunities back.
We just got really disheartened when they scored 2 length of field tries. Honest, when we possibly could have scored on the play before.
That was 7 straight wins for the Roosters, and the news gets better. Next week, Adrian Morley back from suspension, Shannon Hegarty back from injury, and Luke Phillips a 50-50 chance.
All right, it's tough to fill in for the best player in the world, and the Knights tried to get John Morris, Sean Rudder and Kurt Gidley to play parts of the Andrew Johns game, but that's tough to do, as coach Michael Hagan noted afterwards.
When you competed so hard in a game for 60 minutes and the tremendous effort that the boys gave, and I think there's no question that they were here to play and couldn't have played any harder for that period of time. And we came up a couple of, probably like missing a 2-inch putt, I guess, to win a title, wasn't it? So in the end, ounce of luck, and they went the other way and scored 2 on the next 2 sets and probably put an end to our game today and our season. So, but I couldn't thank the players enough for what they've done and the week that they've had, and we've got no complaints and no excuses for today, and they gave it everything they had.
So the Premiers are gone and there's only 4 left, and we'll take a break now on NRL Scoreboard, and when we come back we'll look at how the Sharks ended the Dragon season. Our finals time always provides plenty of twists and turns in the plot, and that was certainly the case for the Newcastle Knights when their captain Andrew Johns was hit by a season-ending back injury. But I'm pleased to say he's on the mend and he's with us here in the studio. The man you heard just a moment ago. Andrew, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
How is the back coming along in the rehab?
Yeah, not too bad. It's a little bit sore, but yeah, it's pretty much everything around it. It's just the referred pain, but just taking it easy, laying up at home and seeing how it comes along.
Now, while we're ruling things out, there's no chance you'll be playing for Australia against the Kiwis in a few weeks' time?
No. When I done the injury, I sort of asked the doctors about it, and they said pretty much by then I might be all right, but I'll be laid up for 3 or 4 weeks. Lose that fitness edge, and I suppose it just wouldn't be the right thing to do by the jumper. So I'll let it go.
60 minutes into the game on Sunday, I thought you guys, the Knights that is, were a very big chance of getting the cash against the Roosters.
Yeah, it was a great effort. There was no doubt you could, the courage shown by the guys. I knew they'd go out and do it, but just unfortunately the last 20 minutes, the scoreboard got away for us. But as I said, a courageous effort, and watching from the sideline, I felt a little bit guilty just not being out there. But really happy with the way the boys went.
What did you think of John Morris and Kurt Gidley and Sean Rudder all there trying to play a little part of your game, kicking and passing and first receiver?
Yeah, good, especially Kurt Gidley. I thought he played great. Been a hard couple of weeks for Johnny. He's lost his father a couple of weeks ago, and then the pressure on him all week in Newcastle was extreme. So I thought he done a great job. And Sean Rudder, I think, steered him around all right. So, but as I said, Kurt Gidley, I thought was outstanding. Yeah, while we're talking about that game, how did you rate the Roosters? Probably not as good as they've played in the last sort of 2 months. I think we exploited certain areas, a few weaknesses out there. At half-time, we could have run in 3 or 4 tries. I think we bombed a couple. But I think it was a nervous game for them. All week they've heard they're going to win. All the pressure was on them. And it doesn't matter what Ricky Stewart says or people say, in the subconscious, you sort of relax a little bit. So I think there'll be a different team this week.
How were the players at half time? Because you bombed plenty of chances in that first 40 minutes. Were they disappointed that they'd bombed that and thought their chance might have gone past, or were they still very positive and thought, well, hang on, we can do this again in the second 40?
No, very upbeat. They were very confident. Ben Kennedy was the guy doing most of the talking, after Mick Hagan had a chat to us, but they were very confident. I think that was, as I said, seeing the weaknesses out there and were really creating opportunities, but unfortunately just that final pass or something to go astray. But as I said, great effort. But I thought the guys thought they were going to win at half time.
So you mentioned the weaknesses. Was one of that, I thought watching the game, was their right side defence. Is that where you guys found you were making a lot of breaks?
Yeah, we tended to play that side. We sort of worked on it. Not so much as we thought there was a weakness there, but that was our strength. We had Ben Kennedy and Tahu together. We tried to, maybe hit the other side to wear out Brad Fittler, try to dull his attacking force by doing so much defence, and then maybe shift the other side. We probably got 3 or 4 opportunities in that first half, but unfortunately we just didn't score them. But it was good.
Well, have you been promoting your DVD over the last couple of weeks?
For what?
You've been. We've had trouble talking on here in recent times. Don't worry, we're very good at it. We've had a lot of practice. Oh, yeah. But your DVD, it's been released through Sony. The Andrew John story so far. It's a terrific insight.
Yeah, it's actually a few people weren't happy about bringing out a book, but it's just something I didn't really want to do. So this sort of come along with my association with Sony Music, and it went from a sort of coaching tip sort of thing, and then they just sort of run with that and done a life story sort of thing. But it's unbelievable the way it's come up. It's really happy with it. But,
how long's it been in the pipeline, mate?
About probably, I don't know, lots. No, about 6 months, I think. But it's been really good. And the thing I like in it is the end of it's sort of 20 minutes of coaching tips, and I really enjoyed that part of it.
We'll take a look at those tips in a moment, but there's some classic footage of you playing junior footy. There's some pretty good commentary as well from the cameraman, so we'll take a look at this.
Again, he makes another 10 yards as usual. He's still going. Gets it out this side of corners. Garnett's got it. Under Johns, he's gone back the other way. And he's beat 3, 4 of them, but to finally bring him down. Now it goes to Hopkins again. Another great tackle by Andrew Johns. Oh, we come through well. He got rid of it well. Under Johns. He's done it again. Good run. Yeah. He's done it again.
Laurie and I have been watching that tape, taking some commentary tips. There's some good ones there.
It certainly is.
That's great.
Is that your old man? Is that Gaz?
I don't know who it is. I've got no idea who it is. Gaz would probably went up. Oh, I don't say what Gaz would have been, but I don't know who that was. Honestly, don't know.
What was it like, sort of watching that sort of stuff back when they were, going through the process of putting it all together, and you saw that stuff for probably the first time in a long time?
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's the best game we've ever played, so I'm happy it ended up on the tape. But they're good memories of growing back up in Cessnock, and it was just a Cessnock sort of team. I think it was 8 teams in Cessnock for under 9s. It's all changed now, but looking back then, there's a lot of kids playing footy.
Any of the blokes that you played against now playing at the Knots or in other clubs?
The big fella actually tackled there. He was playing for Manly a couple of years ago in lower grades, but unfortunately he actually didn't get over that tackle and he's knocked his confidence around.
It took him a long time. How many comps did you win up there in the juniors?
Oh, I don't know.
Everyone?
8 or 9 or something.
Well, it sounds like him, because what are you guys with?
9 straight.
9 straight, yeah.
Just
I think that was a pretty good side going through. I think we won, from under 8s off to under 12s or something.
All the way through. Now, you're talking about your kicking tips. Let's take a look at some of that action, because there's some good stuff there. Banana kick, the screwball, the everything.
Yeah, I just usually come down by.
It's got a bit of stuff there, just rolling grubbers towards the post and just trying to knock them off the post with your grubber kicking, that sort of stuff. This is in the actual story itself. And afterwards, down there at North Sydney Oval, you filmed some stuff also. We're just going through the different ways you pass from left to right and blah, blah, blah. And it goes, everything, just your hands on the football, the whole deal.
Yeah, this is just generally what I do. With a bit of time in my hands, just go down the park, and I find that, if you practice that much to try to hit the post, then under the pressure of the game, under fatigue, you generally do it. And this one, trying to hit the crossbar, I don't really do that. We just wanted to mock that up on the telly to make it look good. But no, just soccer players talk about their touch to get the feel of the ball. You just sort of start from the 10 and then get to the 20 and just try to get a feel for the ball, I suppose. And here's me dogs playing around. Hello, Molly and Walter. I haven't been home for a couple of days, but I hope someone's feeding them there.
And how often...
That was a joke.
How often Joey, how often would you practice those kicks? And when did you start doing it? How old were you when you decided to start really practicing the kicking game?
Probably now, these days, not too often, but probably when I first started from, say, 18 to 23 or 24, I used to sort of do it a couple of times a week. And once I got the grounding, I just generally do it probably now once a week, 20 minutes before training or something like that.
Mate, if I got a copy, do you think it's too late for me to improve my kicking game if I watched it a bit?
You never know. I've handed a few to Matty Parsons and he's come on leaps and bounds. He can actually kick a ball off the ground 10 metres now, so he's going all right.
What about growing up, mate? You copied a lot of Ricky Stewart and Alan Lange's. You watched plenty of video growing up and you modelled your game on a lot of different players.
Yeah, that's right. When I first come to grade in Newcastle, David Waite was coaching and his assistant at the time, Alan Bell, was a great student of the game, made so many videos up for me, just things on Ricky, yourself, Alan Langer, Kevin Walters plays this, and even blokes like Darryl Brohman. Darryl's a card now, but apparently was a great ball player, in those days. Just the fundamentals of doming in to pass out and what these players do under pressure, what part of the ground, and I thought it was a great education, great grounding for me when I come into grade.
And talking about that, you don't mind sharing your knowledge with other players. I was quite impressed with the way that you handled yourself in State of Origin with the young blokes that you took under your wing, and you weren't hiding it all to yourself. You were imparting it on these players, and their eyes were lit up, and they couldn't believe that Andrew was spreading his knowledge.
I know you spent a bit of time with Braith and Astor, especially during the Origin series.
Yeah, Origin, and when we were away, I used to grab Braith after training and do some stuff with him, and it's funny, these sort of skills I've sort of had to work on that long, for years to sort of get them to a level I can put them on the field. I'd grab Braith and say, this is the kick you do, you get your hands this way, and sort of they land on the area there, and that Braith would go, I'll give it to you, then bang, straight on the spot, and he'd pick it up like that, and he's just a special talent.
He's a bit the same at golf, I can tell you. He's a freak at that as well. Yeah, shoots under par all the time. He'd never play him. If he offers to play during Origin camp for money, just say no, thanks, Braith, I've heard about you. There are 4 teams left in the finals race, so what we thought we might do is get you to take us through perhaps some of the teams and some of the playmakers. And Brad Fittler, of course, I know you're speaking about players that you've watched over the years on tape. He's a pretty special player. I know you've watched him, the way he steps. Mathew has spoken about watching him step off either foot and trying to copy him in the backyard, that sort of stuff.
I watched him really closely on the weekend because he's been playing that well, and I enjoy just sitting back and probably looking at different things players do, not when they got the ball in hands but away from the ball. And I was watching Freddie closely. The moves he's covering and the extra work he's doing, you can just see how hungry he is. And probably 2 or 3 years ago, it wouldn't have been his go. He'd sit back and wait. But you can see him, he's kicking the ball now. He's the first man down there, making 2 or 3 in a row, and he's playing great football. But, I think his form's been outstanding the last 12 months.
He threw a pass in the second half over the top of one of the defenders. It might have been Tamana Tahu, or a fingertips sort of stuff. It was a perfect pass onto the chest of Brett Mullins from on the run at a fair distance as well. It was a terrific pass.
Yeah, he's got every skill in the book. The thing people underestimate with him is his strength. He's a big man, and when he decides to run, he's just unstoppable. He's always, if he hits the line hard, he's always there to promote it with the second phase. And he's running the ball now more than ever, and it's just a joy to watch.
Alan Langer, of course, is the player the Roosters will be hoping to keep quiet on Saturday night there at Aussie Stadium. He's just an absolute marvel, isn't he? 36 years of age, he's still doing it. You've got to play against him again in Origin this year.
Yeah, he's great motivation for all players now. For a while there, everyone who hit 30 was sort of hanging the boots up, but look at our 36 and still playing great football. It's good motivation. But he had a great Origin series, and the best thing about seeing Alf is I knew he'd play well, but there's a game this year, Penrith at Penrith Park, when it would have been hard for him to get up, and he was just
had a good game.
He played unbelievable, and that's the best thing. His consistency's just been great. I think it's just the game here and that great strip.
Yeah, the Aquanauts, they're calling them.
Beautiful.
The thing about Alan Langer, he came onto the scene and was a superstar straight away, and 16, 17 years later, he still is a superstar of the game, and not many players can do that. And he means so much to this Broncos outfit, and for 36 years of age, having him come back this season, I doubt whether the Broncos could have won the comp or can win the comp without him.
Yeah.
And they're lucky that he's fit and wants to go out a winner.
Well, let's keep the look at the playmakers, if you like, and the teams who are still in the comp going. Of course, the Sharks have been setting the table for Brett Kimmorley in the second half of the season. You would have seen plenty of him. Of course, he's a very big chance of being the Australian halfback now that you're out of the running. He's the heir apparent, if you like, for this one-off game against the Kiwis.
Oh, he has to be. He's a player. I think it'd be nice to see Brett Sherwin maybe get an opportunity in the training squad, but I think this is a player to get there for sure. And his form over the last sort of 12 weeks of the comp has been as good as he's been, and he's playing off some great go forward there at the Sharks. And he's their man. If he plays well, they're a big chance of winning the comp.
When you play against the Sharks, Joey, do you find it better to get up and get in their face, or would you prefer to hang back and slide on the Sharks? Because sometimes they seem to struggle against the teams that are up in their face, and it doesn't suit Kimmorley's style of play, I don't think.
I think the Roosters have shown that they play that up and in style of defence. We didn't in the first round, but to stop Noddy, you got to stop Stevens, and then after him, then they all come. Nutley, then so-and-so, then another one, and then that's when Noddy comes at you. But you just got to get back in your line quick, get up with that flat attack, because with the up and in, you can really shut them down. At Shark Park there, we didn't. We got beat by 70.
Everyone talks about his passing game here. That was quite a day, wasn't it? The Black Sunday, as they called it in the papers the day after. But everyone talks about his flat passing game.
Yep.
His kicking game, though, he picks up so many try assists through.
Yeah, he can get repeat sets from anywhere in the field, but within that 20 metres, he can land on a 20-cent piece. And I think another thing with Brett is his strength. You can get two forwards putting a shot on him, he just bounces off and keeps going. But he's playing well.
Sometimes his strength can be his weakness, though, I think. Because he wants to dominate and get his hands on the football as much as possible. I remember the game against the Roosters in the last round. Mm-hmm. The Roosters were putting him on the deck at every opportunity, but he's a competitive guy. He was just getting up and not really having a look to see what was in front of him.
Yeah, sure.
And sometimes I thought he got too caught up in the game, where he should have probably took himself out of it and looked to see what was happening. But he's a fine competitor and a great runner of the football.
Yeah, well, Brett Kimmorley, of course, is the number 7 for Australia. The man he'll be taking on in the Test match will be, of course, Stacey Jones, the Warriors halfback, and, of course, the New Zealand Kiwis halfback. What do you like about his game?
I like him because he's a hairy little fella, and it doesn't make me look too hairy when I play against him. That's honest.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, you can call him as you see him, mate.
For a guy who's so small, he doesn't mind mixing it with the big guys. He plays flat and straight at you all the time. There's times in the game when if you don't want to get tackled, you can start creeping sideways. But if you look at this footage, Stacey's at you all day. He's strong. And I think now Daniel Anderson's got the Warriors trained that they're all playing off his sort of go forward. When he goes, there's sort of blokes chopping in and out of holes and they're supporting him. But very strong, quick, and it'd be great to see Stacey playing in semi-finals, but hopefully playing a grand final. I think he deserves it. He's been loyal to the Warriors for that long, and he's such a great little player.
Well, Daniel Anderson has challenged him this week and said publicly that he wants him to come out and put in a big game and show them what he can do to be one of the great players, as he thinks he should be.
Yeah, for sure. As I said, he's played, 8 years of first grade there and hasn't played in semi-finals or a grand final, so he'll be really hungry. He'll have a blinder this weekend.
Go without giving us your winners this weekend and who you think might take it all out?
I like the top weight in the last in Melbourne. And
in the last. I'm writing these down, don't worry.
It's I think maybe... Who did I say earlier it was? I forgot.
You went Sharks
Broncos.
Yeah, Sharks Brisbane, but just. I don't want to step on anyone's toes, but I think Brisbane. I've liked Brisbane for the last 2 months. I think they just got the forward pack that can win it, and you also say the Sharks.
And the Broncos to take it out. Yeah, the Sharks. You like the Sharks?
Yeah, and then I think the Broncos take it out without Mathew Johns there. Oh, geez, I struggle without him.
Jeez, I tell you what, I hope you pick your horses better than you do your football teams.
No, I don't, unfortunately.
Andrew, thanks for your time, mate. We appreciate it. Good luck with the DVD. I'm sure they'll sell plenty.
Hope so, yeah. Thank you.
And good luck with the back. We'll see you in action next year.
Thanks, mate.
There he is, Andrew Johns, our special guest. But on the other side of this break, we'll cross the Tasman to speak to another one in the Warriors, Justin Morgan.
The best of Fox Sports Central. This man has been the engine room for the Knights in 2002.
Here's Big Ben Kennedy. Kennedy puts it over the line.
And this guy had Dragons fans with their arms in the air.
Riddell is over! Riddell has scored!
Ben Kennedy and Mark Riddell join us talking NRL with our own Laurie Daly.
Welcome back now. As everybody on the planet knows, we're in the second last week of the Telstra Premiership. We have plenty to cover with the current final series in full swing. Now, to help us with the chat, we'll be joined by two of this season's form players in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at the finest work of Ben Kennedy and Mark Riddell.
Now Peters, once again the Dragons, it comes off the Raiders' legs, that's 6 more tackles. Riddell straightens, he's only got Graham to beat.
Now, Buderus scampers away from dummy half, gets it back for Kennedy. Kennedy is over. Ben Kennedy has scored the first try.
Riddell is over! Riddell has scored! Oh, they are jumping!
A slow play the ball, they wanted a fast one. Johns to Kennedy.
And Riddell is standing and scoring for the Dragons, and a beautiful pass back on the inside from Barrett.
Kurt Gidley gets the ball away to Sean Rudder. Rudder goes to the 20-metre line.
Here's Big Ben Kennedy. Kennedy puts it over the line.
Riddell from acting half, yawning gap again. He doesn't need support. He's got himself a double in the space of 2 minutes. What about the gap? He's run out of the ground. He's standing there having he's clapping himself.
Yes, how sweet it is. Would you please welcome Ben Kennedy, Mark Riddell and Lazar Daly, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, boys. It's a great time of year, isn't it? Semi-final time. Not for you two.
No. It would be if you're playing, but unfortunately we're not.
No, absolutely. But you had a good year. Let's start with your years first. Ben had the shoulder injury, 13 weeks out.
Yeah, it was a strange season for me, mate, to say the least. I'm surprised you actually got some highlights package of me there. I spent a lot of time on the sidelines, but I was lucky enough to get back to the semi-finals. And like I said, mate, unfortunately we're not there.
Yeah, you must have been frustrated, but the team performed really well all year, defending your title.
Yeah, we did. You know, it was a very tough year for us, and it was very disappointing to get knocked out last week. But there's a lot of positives you can take out of it. We've had so many young kids come through, and I really think it's going to be a real good year for Newcastle next year.
Yeah, there was the shoulder break there. Did you know it was gone straight away?
Yeah, 100%. I felt a crack and I knew it wasn't right. So
must be really hard sitting on the sideline.
Yeah, mate, it is. I just asked my wife. I'm a fairly cranky human when I'm not playing. The boys will tell you that, but fairly emotional as well, mate. And it's always, you know, you're doing what you love, mate. And I certainly would have liked to be out there, but these things happen.
How sweet was it to running back on the field, semi-final time, getting back in time to contribute?
Yeah, well, you know, that's why you play the game, playing them big games, and it was great to come back at. My first game was at Newcastle, mate, and the crowd went berserk. It was a very special time.
It certainly was. Joey Johns, the back injury, the most publicised back injury in the world.
Yep. Yes.
How did you guys take sort of to the attitude that you couldn't win without him? It must have been fairly insulting.
It is, but we keep proving it. Okay. You know, we never win. But in saying that, you know, I really felt that we had the Roosters. The second, if we had taken a couple of opportunities in the first half, we probably could have beat them. So we sort of shut a few people up, but you know, they still went on and beat us by 30. And look, you take Joey Johns out of the side, obviously it's going to hurt us, but you take Alfie Langer out of Broncos, they lost 6 straight. I'd like to see our Roosters going without Brad Fittler this year, and You know, so there are key players, and obviously taking them out hurts.
It certainly does.
Yeah, Benny, on a personal level, mate, the Test match is coming up the week after the grand final. You've had well-documented problems with your shoulder. Will you be right to play in that Test match, and will you need surgery?
I'm going to see tomorrow, Loz, see the specialist. I'm going in open-minded, but mate, certainly if I get picked, mate, I'll certainly put it off. You know, you don't give up playing for Australia. That's certainly a special time, and I'm sure the club will be happy for that to happen. So we'll just wait and see.
A frustrating year, wasn't it, for the Newcastle side with the injuries that you did cop?
It was, and you know, just to top it off, we lost Matty Parsons in the first couple of minutes, and he's been our best player all year. So I dare say he'll get players play. I don't want to give too much away, but for the team, so yeah, I hope so. I'll get on.
I think you did unearth a new star though in Kurt Gidley. I thought his performances when he did fill in for Robbie O'Davis was first class, and it'll be a difficult decision where Hagues plays him next year. Yeah, for sure. Well, it will be a difficult decision, but he's got to be there somewhere. You know, he showed how good he was this year, and under the semi-final pressure, you know, he really excelled. So he's got something to be proud of his year. Where's his best position, in the outside backs or in closer, do you think? I think as he gets a little bit older, in closer, just with his footwork and his ball skills, you know, he's a fairly talented player. So it'd be a pity for him not to have the ball in his hands as much as possible.
This has been a Fox Sports production.
Let's get straight to our guest host, because these two guys have been our all-time favourite on the footy show, and you'll see later on it's got a bit of a brothers feel to it tonight, and we've brought you right now two of the best brothers, the Johns brothers, Make and Walker.
Welcome, boys. You blokes have played in plenty of grand finals, won one. How are you feeling? Won a couple, actually. How are you feeling this week? Well, this time last year, Joe, you were our guest because you were playing.
Yeah, a bit envious actually this time of year. This is why you play, and unfortunately for us, we got knocked out. But you know, it's a great week. This is why you play, and you know, it's going to be an enjoyable week, and then the big game on the weekend.
Matty, 2 weeks ago we saw Joey doing it very tough on the sidelines when the Knights were playing. How did you handle last Sunday afternoon?
Yeah, it's tough still, you know. But you know, once you make up your mind that you realise you're not going to be there, you just got to sit and hope for the best. But yeah, it was tough, very hard last week, mate. You know, the big things expected at the Shire would have been great, but mate, we didn't win, so that's the way it goes.
Matty, can I just ask you, where are you heading with your hair? What is? No, honestly, Joey, what's the story?
Yeah, we used to have a cat at home. It's not it's dead set cat's hair.
You were saying before it's been dead set 6 months before it's had a trim.
It's been a while since I've had a trim actually, but I'm a big fan of Thomas the Tank Engine. They reckon that Ringo Starr, he does the worst. So I like Ringo.
Well, look, someone very close to Matt Johns has been out in the streets of Bondi doing a street talk. None other than Reagan. Here he is.
I'm Reagan, and I'm on the streets of Bondi. And me, talk about finals fever. It's going mad out here. The problem with this joint is they don't know who to support. Their local team or their other local team. Who's going to win? The sheep shaggers or the pretty boys? Let's find out. You must be proud to see your boys in the grand final this week.
Sure am.
It's great. It's been years, since the old days of Ayliffe and Hastings and Beatson.
Last time they were there. Oh, they'll get there this time too.
I think they're a good chance. But on the fair dinkum factor, are they any chance? You think so? Are they any chance? Can I have a kiss?
Yeah.
Another. Listen, I'll come around a little bit later, okay? So I don't judge you. Listen, mate, being part of the fuzz, you blokes would have been involved in a bit of biff in your time. I'm trying to bring it back. Are you all for it?
Absolutely, mate. I've only been in the cops for about 4 weeks, but yeah, do whatever you want.
You've had a bit in that time?
A little bit.
Mate. Good to see you. What about some biff? What about like... Do you like it?
I do like it.
How good would it be if Freddie Fitley just grabbed hold of that alley low tootie and punched him straight in the ball bag?
That'd be awesome.
How good would it be first scrum of the game to see the boys mixing it up with a little bit of biffer?
A bit of what?
A bit of biffer, a bit of a knuckle sandwich, smell the cheese. First scrum of the game, I can see it now. He gets in there like this, the hooker, and he goes, hey, Cambo, smell the chease. Wow. Whatever, Rico. Wouldn't that be something?
That would be good. That would be something.
Hey, every lady in Bondi wants to get Rico by the nuts.
Yeah.
It's not only the ladies either. No, but anyway, we can dream all day, girls. I've got to go. See you later. Thanks very much for your time. Get back to work, you bludger. You must be from New Zealand. They call them the Rellies. What is?
Latin.
Oh, what?
Latin.
An Archie?
Latin.
Oh, Latin. What part of Latin are you from?
Colombia.
Colombia? Oh, I'll tell you what. Can I just use the phone for it? I'll have a gram of the good stuff. I'll tell you what. You have quite a magnificent cock we've got here. Have a look at this place.
It's the biggest one you've ever seen.
Oh, not necessarily. Obviously, you've been doing a little bit of welding. You must have good bloody eyes to be able to see through those bastards.
Yeah. I'll take them off. Is that any better?
Kind of.
Ask them. Ask them.
Hey? Yeah, you've got half of one happening at the moment. You bloody self, you mad bastards. Could you just run it? Could you do us a harkery?
It'll be a mean one.
Mate, that's what I want to see. Very good so far. Tell you what, my second wife used to do that before we used to climb into bed again. I just want to ask you about the NRL Premiership Trophy. It's a dead set joke. It looks like a sex object. What about the good old days when it was a cup and you could stick some piss in there and all have a good skull? What do you reckon? You know what I love most about Holland? The dikes.
Ja.
Hey?
Die Hollanders zal zeggen, je moet mooi spelen en recht komen.
That means you've got to play well and come right.
Exactly. You know what we say in Australia? Go and get... Well, there you go. It's just a dead set jungle in the streets of Bondi, and nobody's got a clue what's going on, and that includes me. Who's going to win it this year? Could be the sheep shaggers, could be the pretty boys. Who knows? I've got one thing to say. Go and get...
Reagan there
These blokes in the
just
crowd.
gets madder and madder, doesn't he? But done a great job for us.
What's going on?
No, you have got massive problems, I'm telling
Reckon
you.
I've got problems. Look at those blokes in the crowd. Hang on, boys. It's not Sonny Bono, it's Reg Reagan.
Look, I might just interrupt here, boys, because they've got a special treat on the line live from the East Leagues Club. I believe the man himself is there. Reg Reagan, are you there, Reg?
Hello, Fats. Me? Look at all those people. Hello in there.
Reg, do you have a fancy for the big one on Sunday?
I don't like either of them, boys. One are a bunch of animal shag and dull bludgeon litter of bastards hanging out in Bondi, and the others are the Warriors.
Reg, have you watched any of their games lately?
I watch every game, Peckerhead. There's not a moment of rugby league played in this great country that I don't see. I haven't missed a game since Tommy signed with the Magpies. Jeez, tell you what, this place is very bitter and twisted, mate. Is there a player on each side that stand out? There's got to be somebody. Of course there is. There's my great mate Kevin Bloody Campion at the Warriors. Now there's a man who can not only throw a punch, he can cop one as well. Have a look at the head on him. Sounds like he's just smoked 10 packet of bungers. Have a listen to him.
Oh, mate, just a bit of a clash of heads. I think it was Warringa Cooper. Yeah, just clashed heads, so that's part of the parcel of the game, mate, yeah.
That's the face of rugby league, if you ask me. Not that fat-ass show pony Andrew Johns. Hang on.
Good Red Sharp. What about someone in the Roosters?
Oh, hello, Andrew. Good to see you got a shot in the host chair tonight. You'd be nowhere without me, mate. One day they'll realise that. I love Morley, you little prick. He's got the complete game. Fists, elbows, headbutts, never takes a backward step, and would run a mile to get into a bit of biff. Tough bastard.
Finally, Reg, have you had a look at the grand final entertainment, champ?
I have, Fats. And David Gallop and his mob in there have done well. They've gone back in time and they've dug up Billy Idle. But why stop there, Dave? What about Slade, Brian Mannix, mother***ing Goose? I'll tell you something that's missing, though. A tribute to the Biffers, the great men that put some knuckle into the game. I've prepared a little videotape. I'm sending it over tomorrow to Gallop's. He's going to show it on the big screen on Sunday. Here's a sneak preview.
And we predicted there might be a little bit more on this match early on. It's already started. Still test stop. Punches being thrown as it explodes the tension. Still going on here. There's so many outbreaks.
And altercations now breaking out in two areas. Players flying in from all over the park.
Darryl, it's on again. It's on again. Darryl gave him one. Came back. This is disgusting. Really, they're fighting now, right in front of the crowd.
Harder than the cat's head, boys. That's what it's all about. I want to wish both teams all the best for the weekend. And for the last time in 2002, to the players, the fans, and especially the referees, I'd like to say, go and get
Now, boys, this is our last Beat the Boys for the night. And it's involving snakes and spiders, Sterlo.
No.
We know you're a big snake fan.
Not happy about this.
Face your phobia, Tom. Face your fear.
Yeah, face your fears, Tom.
Actually, look, I hate snakes, and this is going to be really bad, but how do you handle spiders? Because we've had a few incidents during the year, in fact, over the years, where you probably haven't been that good. There you showed a lot of courage when the rubber spider came your way. Another one of your fine moments on television, so we haven't got a lot to follow, Paulie boy.
Yeah.
Have you always hated those?
Yeah, I'm not. I can handle snakes, vipers. Don't worry, but spiders, no good. I'm telling you. Anyway, we've got some special guests here.
We've got Craig and we've got Jackie, who've been great friends all year from the Australian Reptile Park. Thank you very much. Now, guys, Chief, myself, Andrew, and Matty, we're not that happy about this, but you've assured us everything will be okay. You've got a couple of constrictors about to come out, is that right? Well,
we've got a couple.
Let's do it, because I'd rather not think about it.
Let's do it. Now, Matty, you don't handle these too good, do you, champ? Let's get him out as we'll just ask Matty.
Look after your brother. Put your arm around him there, Andrew.
Yeah, look after. Let's grab the. What do you got there for us?
Nah, don't touch me.
Yeah, you're actually shitting yourself.
This is not happening.
Oh, these are the world's biggest spiders.
Come on, Matty.
Mate, have a look at this.
You can do it. You face him every week, Matty. Come on.
You've got to take it, mate. You've got to stand tall.
Yeah, put your arm around your brother.
Sterlo, oh, the former great halfback.
That's it. Stay there. Hang on to it.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Hang on to him, Matty. Hang on to his sister.
Matty, Reg, Trent, come in.
That's it. She's hanging on to you.
Mate, Reg wouldn't be scared of that, Matt.
Open your hands like a feeding
Now, Chief, you're handling it pretty well.
Pete's feeling too snakes at the moment.
I've never seen a more scared person all my life.
Get his head away, mate.
Mate, he's massive.
No, what's still, Matt? No, honestly.
That's good.
Go away.
No.
Steve.
That's all right. You're going to have your opportunity now. It's choking you.
It's hanging on.
How's the back, mate? The back all right?
Yeah, it's good. Good, mate.
Oh, it's choking. Oh, hang on. You right? Oh, trouble. Trouble for the world's greatest player here. Oh. Look, it's got fangs. What about the fangs? Oh, world's greatest player in trouble.
Have a go at him, man.
Okay. We thought we handled that very comfortably. Paul, come with me.
That's a great face your fears segment.
Okay, down you come. Down your line, mate. On you get. Come on. Down.
That's all right.
All right. Now, I have to say, you're not good with spiders. In fact, you probably are arachnophobic, I would imagine.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this is an enormous effort on your behalf.
I know, I'm very
Now, we're
scared.
about to get a big huntsman spider out. And could we... Chief, I need you to...
You're right.
Okay.
No.
You're right.
A leg each, please, gentlemen.
How big? What is
No.
it?
Oh, my God. It's all right.
Do you want me to roll over? No, piss off. You're not putting it under there. No way. No way. No. No way.
Okay, all right.
No way.
No, you're going good.
Tell mate.
You're going... No. Mate, grab his arm. Here we go. Oh, it's only small.
No, don't. Honestly.
What? Oh, look at it. It's a funnel web. Shit! It's the world's biggest spider. Oh, no. That's on.
Pick him up, hang on.
I'm not touching him. I'm not touching him. Jackie, all yours. Can we have one more go, do you think? Yeah, one more go. No, one more go. Never stayed on. One more opportunity. Here we go. Spider's on. No, you're going good, Paul. You're going good. They jump. They see.
Here we go.
Jesus Christ. Outstanding. No, you killed him. Let's have a look at just where you handle it again. Up it goes. It's just a little one, little spider.
The Anties delivered Trevor Chappell's infamous underarm. The Berlin Wall came crashing down, as did the stock markets of the world. But nothing could stop Parramatta, Canterbury, or KC and the Sunshine Band. To the 90s, and the world lost Lady Diana. Sydney was awarded the Olympic Games, and the Brisbane Broncos took all before them. Meanwhile, on the radio, grunge was the catchphrase, and Nirvana was the band. Disco is still alive with Mathew Johns, Paul Harragon and Andrew Johns tribute to Casey and the Sunshine Band. The Newcastle boys rocked hard as Nirvana, Kurt Gidley, Josh Perry and Adam Woolnow.
I want to thank tonight, especially Andrew Johns and Matty Johns. Thanks, boys. And a big thank you to Paul Harragon and Peter Sterling. On you, boys. You were outstanding.
The player with the ball thinks he's scored. The opposition are calling for a double movement. The 30,000 fans at the ground and another 2 million watching on TV have made up their minds. Now it's your turn. It's a big decision. That'd be hard enough without your legs aching, the sweat stinging in your eyes, or the blood pounding in your ears. There's 30 seconds to go, and your decision will change the lives of these players forever. Could you do it? If you think you have what it takes to become a referee, visit nrl.com.au or call 1300 550 675 and become part of the game.